Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me.
Okay. And you, I gotta figure out two. I'm trying to figure it out, y'all. Let's see. I'm trying to figure it out, y'all. Let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to figure it out, y'all. Let's see. I'm trying to figure it out, y'all. We're on. Let me try to get Therapy Thursday started. So let me try to make this work, fellas. I'm trying to make it work. Hold on a second. I thought I just had it. Let's try this again. Let's see. Okay, I thought I was on. Okay, I'm on now. It is gonna be Therapy Thursday. I'm gonna give us. Let me give us a little music. YouTube. Gonna be Therapy Thursday. Merry Christmas. Let's try this. Play a little Christmas music. Hold on. Christmas. Hold on a second. And I'm gonna get this together, y'all. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to get this all together. But in the meantime, let's see. Wait a minute. I'm trying to get it all together. It's the first time I tried it by myself. I don't know, can y'all hear that? All right. So, this is Therapy Thursday. It is Christmas morning. And I'm trying to make this work. We can talk about what's going on Therapy Thursday. So, I done muted myself. I'm about to add a few more folks. Let's see. Here we go. Group. Gonna add me. And a few more other people. And my wife. And my son. and Mac. Let's see. Hold on. I'm getting it together, y'all. One more second. Hold on, baby. All right. So now it is Therapy Thursday. Gotta get my little man together. Come on. So today is Therapy Thursday. I was trying to play some music in the background. I was trying to make it work. I don't know who's going to join us today, but today is Therapy Thursday, and I just want everybody to know I'm excited. I'm excited to be on Therapy Thursday on Christmas morning. And I know that sounds kind of crazy. We on Therapy Thursday on Christmas morning talking about the things that happens in life. And that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to make sure everything is on point. Y'all got to give me a few seconds because I never did it by myself. And I'm trying to make sure I got everything right. Let's see, DJ Glenn. Yeah. Trying to make sure I got it right. I got it right? Let's see. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm trying to make it all work out just right on Therapy Thursday. Yeah, I'm hanging out with my grandson. Maybe I got it down too low. Let me see. Oh, you can hear me. All right. So I'm excited to be on the line this morning. I'm excited. Benita, good morning. Merry Christmas. We're trying to get started. I haven't heard from DJ Glenn yet, but I'm trying to get it started. I'm going to get a couple of brothers to come on, and we're going to talk about the goodness of the Lord Jesus Christ, how God not only shows up, but he shows off. And he does exceedingly, abundantly, above all we can ask or think. So because it's Christmas morning, and because I'm excited to be live on Christmas morning, waiting on a few of the brothers to join us. And we're just going to talk about, I know the world has set aside Christmas, and it has turned into a commercial business. That's pretty much, that's what it is. It's commercial. But you can take something negative and turn it into something positive. And that's what I'm talking about. Take something negative and turn it into something positive. And I know we want to make sure we are not caught up in the cares of this world, but I came to tell you, it doesn't matter whether it's good or bad. You can make a difference. You can make a difference. You can change the situation. You can change the circumstances. You can change them to work out for our own good. So I'm excited for everyone who has joined in. I'm excited for how God shows up. I'm excited for how he shows off. I'm excited how he does exceedingly, abundantly, above all we can ask or think. And I know because it's Christmas, people might not think we was going to be on live. Again, like I said, I haven't heard from DJ Glenn, but The one thing I do, I say and I believe with all my heart, with all my mind, and with all my soul that when God shows up, he shows off. And not only do he show off, he does exceedingly abundantly above all we can ask or think. So, again, this is the day that the Lord has made, and I want to rejoice and be glad in this day. And if you don't believe me, trust and know that. And I want to rejoice. Yeah, just know that when God shows up, he usually shows off. So, because it's Therapy Thursday and because it's Christmas Day, and I want to know what Christmas means to you. I know that a lot of people, um, sometimes it's the saddest day of the year. Sometimes some people um, don't even want to make new memories. They don't even want to make new memories. They don't want to hear new memories. But I came to say you can take a negative and turn it into a positive. You know, all of us have lost loved ones. All of us have experienced losses. All of us have experienced things that other people probably not have experienced. But I promise you, you can take a negative and turn it into a positive. You can look at God woke me up this morning. He gave me brand new grace, brand new mercy. He gave me eyes to see, ears to hear, nose to breathe, a mouth to talk. He gave me the activities and use of my limbs and the blood running warm in my vein. He put a roof over my head, clothes on my back, shoes on my feet. Last night wasn't my last night. And I'm up on social media. So we need to pray for those who are less fortunate. We need to pray for those who are homeless. We need to pray for those who are incarcerated, pray for those in the hospital, pray for those who sit at home lonely right now, contemplating. They missing their loved ones so much. They don't even realize what they're trying to do or what they're planning on doing. But I came this morning just to encourage you. I came to encourage you and to remind you that it doesn't matter what happened in the past. This is a brand new day. Today is a new day. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we ought to rejoice and be glad in this day. We can take it. We can take a negative, and we can easily turn a negative into a positive. We can think that, I woke up, I got my health, I got my strength, I got the activities and use of my limbs. I can change my circumstances because I can speak those things as though they were. What do you tell yourself when you get up? I tell myself, I am a mighty man of God. I am a child of God. I am great. I am excited. I am victorious. I am more than a conqueror. That's what I tell myself every single day. I wake up reminding myself, thanking God for waking me up this morning, thanking God for the activities and use of my limbs, thanking God for the blood that's running warm in my vein, thanking God for my wife, thanking God for and praying for her and covering her with his blood and giving her traveling mercies as she traveled to work, and she worked with people with dementia. So I pray for her to give her strength so she would be that person who God called her to be, so that she can help all of those who got dementia. I pray for my daughter who travels to work with her. They both work in the same industry. So I pray for her. So I get up every morning. I pray for my wife. I pray for my oldest son, Amir, and his family. I pray for my son, Shamar, and his family. And then I pray for Mario and our son Mario and Elvira, that God save all of them, fill them with his Holy Spirit. I pray for my son Shamanik and his wife Naira. I pray for Shakol, and I pray for Zane. And like I said, I pray for Maya and her two children. Pray for their fathers, and then I pray for Celia and Samai. I pray for Chris, who's going to be traveling on the holiday. I pray for all of those on the holiday who's going to be traveling. I pray for my brothers. I got loved ones who gone, but I pray for my brother James' family. I pray for my sister Barbara family, my brother Charles' family. I pray for this morning. I pray for my brother Earl family. I pray for my brother Curtis family, my brother Liam family. I pray for my brother Gregory and his family. I pray for my brother Calvin, healing for his family. I pray for my sister Jackie, she had passed away, but I pray for her and her family. I pray for the family that she was a part of. I don't know why I'm going dark, but I guess it's going to come back into light. But I pray for them. I pray for the Stanley family. I pray for my brother Calvin, healing for his body, saving him and his family. I pray for my sister Linda family, my sister Deborah family, my brother Michael and his son. I pray for every single day. I pray for my brother Fisher and his family. Then I pray for my in-laws every morning. Then I pray for my grandkids and my great-grandkids. I pray for my godsons and my goddaughters. I just have a list of my neighbors, my friends. I just have a list of people every single morning who I pray for. I pray for Men of Vision Empowered. I pray for Rapture International Ministry. I pray for Bethel International Outreach. I pray for my social media, my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram. I pray for all of that as soon as I wake up. Every single morning, I pray that God not only shows up, but I pray that he shows off and do exceedingly abundantly above all that we can even ask or think. I pray for those who I speak to every single morning. So I don't know about you, but I'm just telling you what I do every single morning before I even get out of bed. That's what I start off praying. Good morning, everyone. We have to thank God for waking us up this morning. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. How do you pronounce it? Rocks? Yes, Merry Christmas. So I get up praying for DJ Glenn. I pray for the morning flight. I pray for the radio station. Every single morning I get up thanking God for a new day, thanking God for brand new grace, thanking God for brand new mercy, thanking God for being a keeper, a way maker, mind regulator, a heart fixer, a very present help in the time of trouble, keeping us when we don't want to be kept, watching over us when we don't want to be watched over, protecting us, showing up in our life every single day. That's my prayer every single day. So that's what I do. And, I'm excited because I know at some point I'm going to have some of my brothers to join me on Therapy Thursday, if they can, you know what I'm saying? Join us and see, join us on Therapy Thursday, because this is where I'm at. This is the link. Is this the link? And maybe I didn't send the link right. Let me go back. Did I send Anthony the link? Hold on, yeah. I thought I invited other people, and then maybe the link I sent them wasn't the link. Let me see. I invite somebody. Oh man, I sent the wrong link. No wonder I ain't joining nobody. Ain't joining me. I sent the wrong link, but let me correct it. It's easy to make that correction. Please go live. Go fast. Compose. What's that? Absolutely. I gotta go. I gotta send the link. I didn't send the link. My bad, y'all. Coming to my head, not to my heart. I did not mean no harm. So far, the reason I haven't had nobody join me, because evidently I accidentally sent the wrong link to everybody. So I'm gonna make that correction. Let's see. Gotta go back. Let's see. Sent. Did I just send it? So, as I was saying, and as I prepare to find this link, I just sent the link. So I gotta see, where did I send the link to? I just sent the link this a few seconds ago. Sent. Come on, y'all. Devil is a lie. And I ain't blaming the enemy. Sometimes we got to blame ourselves for the stuff that we do. So I gotta find this link, send this link, and then try to send it. This should be the link right here. I just sent it. But anyway, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to everybody. Merry Christmas to all. I'm definitely excited about life and life in general. I get excited about life because of God's grace and mercy. Let's see. And it's the wrong one. It's just copy the link. I have no idea how I sent the wrong link. I have to send it to a few more people. My bad. I'm sorry, y'all. I sent the link to the wrong people this morning. So, again, gratitude. There we go. AL, good morning. I'm sorry, I sent the wrong link earlier. Can you hear me?
Good morning. Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. I was on one. I sent the wrong link out this morning.
That's okay. We on now. We on.
Yeah. So I was literally talking about how every day I wake up with gratitude. I wake up thanking God for all that he do, how he shows up, how he shows off, thanking God that he does exceedingly abundantly above all we can even ask to think. So my question was on this Christmas morning to ask people, what are you thankful for? What are you showing God gratitude for? How do you even wake up in the morning? That's my question. Do you wake up with gratitude, or do you wake up upset, frustrated? I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. That my question is, how do you wake up? And it's Christmas. And I know sometimes people be, you know, I was saying that you could take a negative and turn it into a positive, you know, because I know loved ones are missing and all of that. But instead, keep talking. Good morning, Anthony. How's your morning? Merry Christmas. How you doing this morning? AL, you there?
Doing well. Yeah. I'm doing well. I'm doing good. Not even really. I totally forgot. That it was Christmas yesterday, but it is. It is. It is. Man, I'm up. I'm up this morning, man. Uh, wow, man. Just doing my usual every day. Uh, Wake up praising God. Wake up thanking Him, and um, thank you for keeping me through the night, man. And all them things I do on a normal day. It's not a different, nothing different that I do.
Hey, so I'm excited. And if you got noise in the background, so good morning, James. Good morning, Anwar Muhammad. That's my brother from another mother. Merry Christmas to Anwar. Merry Christmas to James. Merry Christmas to Aunt. I'm sorry it took a little time to come on because this is my first time doing it by myself. So I kind of put it together. Glenn, I haven't heard from Glenn yet, but I'm sure I'm going to hear from Glenn. But I'm excited, y'all. So my question is, it's Christmas morning, but do you wake up showing gratitude, or how do you wake up? That's my question to the brothers that's on the line. You can take us off. Good morning, Will Walker. Again, James Anwar. My boy Anwar graduated from San Francisco State in therapy. I guess he's a therapist. Anwar, you a therapist, bro?
Yeah, brother, we all therapists.
We all therapists. Isn't your degree is in therapy, though? That's what my question is.
Behavioral psychology.
And what does that mean?
That means I study and are able to affect human behavior with schemas and this and that and that and this, brother.
I'm just asking. So you went to school for this, and you live in the real world. And how does that affect? And how does that work when you look at human behavior? How does that, matter of fact, let's just take it out of human behavior. How does that, well, it's human, we're human. How does that work when you work with African American males? How does that work? Or when you talk to African American males?
Well, first of all, it's kids are different, and when you say studies and try to apply certain things, the human factor or spiritual factor is not taken into account. It's more like if you're, let's say you cut your toe, you're supposed to put like antiseptic and a band-aid on it. Sometime you need stitches, and especially it depends on kids, but everybody has the luggage or the baggage they carry from the parents and their own experience and how they see the world. So there's not really one prescribed way of talking to people, and most professional is just go about things about what they know or how much they know, and in like behavior and stuff like that. Usually you try, people is more susceptible to receive help if you show them that you care about them personally.
So people don't care how much you know till they know how much you care.
Exactly. They value. I found that to be true. You know, even like it's to show that you just know stuff, or this is what you need to do to help yourself. I don't think that's really worked that much. But if you give people option and show them that you really value them as a person instead of a client or whatever, even though it's time consuming because you're taking your work home or etc. But if you show a person, even in a small period of time, that you care, if you see somebody down the street a bum and you just say happy holiday, Merry Christmas, no matter what they look like or whatever, they will respond to you. Even if they stink so bad you're gonna have to walk across the street. On your way across the street, if you say how you doing, happy holiday, you'll get a positive response instead of saying that person need to go take a shower, which they do. But if you just say I care, basically your response will be way different. No matter who it is, the thuggest of person to the dirtiest to the somebody that you say is crazy that won't walk in the middle of the street, let a car hit him. So obviously they're not that crazy. So
So let's look at it. So if I just met you, you
uh-huh.
got locks, you got drip, and
All the shit, brother.
you're right. You're from the islands. I would, and if I met you, I just thought you was just a regular dude or just a cool dude. Because every time people come around you, you just carry this certain swag that, and so maybe you grew up with a great life because you're from the islands and you have this swag in your life. When somebody see you, they think everything is perfect. And now you graduating from therapy, how does that, when people perceive you like that? Because sometimes people perceive you not thinking, all right, he don't know nothing about this. Da, 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 da. How do you deal with that part of life? Because you're a father, you have children, you've been married, you got the whole get down. You know what I'm saying?
How do I actually? I kind of and the perception, um, the perception part. I don't really value it.
Okay.
I almost go into it because my presentation really doesn't match everything that I
Okay.
am. And so it's like sometimes, well, let's look at it a different route
Okay.
where somebody's wearing all this fashion and jewelry and all that. And
Okay.
they say, you know what, the presentation is like they're rich or they're well off. And they could be a knockoff brand. It could be fake jewelry. The car could be a Mercedes, but the engine is crazy, got an oil leak and all that. You know what I'm saying? But the presentation is that I'm well to do. The outside of the house might be trashy, but you know what I'm saying? Then the inside might be just it's a clean house, corners clean, the dishes are cleaning, but someone else could have a mansion and there's dishes piled up, dirty clothes in the corner, and all that. So perception is one thing, but at the same time, the people that's perceiving it, that's their actual thought, that's their reality. So in one sense, you have to have like a value or what you stand for, what you're about, instead of what people is seen about, see it, and if they don't talk to you, then that's what they leave with, you know.
So when people see me and you, I'm a pastor, you're a therapist.
What the hell they doing together?
Right. We don't even match. And we hang out. And you really my little brother, for real, for real. But people look at it from a whole different perspective, because at one point you was part of your Black Muslim Bakery, and people really had a big problem with them. But we was all family, friends, family, hanging out, eating together, kicking it together, enjoying one another. But people's perception of that was crazy, because they can't see how we hang out. You know what I'm saying? And you do therapy and I do preaching. Ain't no difference to me. I'm trying to figure out the difference. And like you said, a lot of people live by perception, and we even allow our own personal emotions to take us places. You know what I'm saying? So what would you say to some, because we got other brothers on the line. I'm sure they're going to unmute and join in. But there go Glenn. Good morning, Glenn. You said because we got other brothers on the line. I'm sure they're going to unmute and join in. But Glenn, I can hear me talking in the background. But we got other people who kind of take stuff out of context. So what do you say about that?
Well, you know what? It's not for everybody. And if you spend enough time trying to like cradle to everyone's, not even needs, but because basically we all want a certain kind of attention. We want to flex a certain kind of way, you know, and also I want to be seen in a certain kind of way too. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's nonchalant, maybe it's my, you know, what I'm portraying, but at the same time, I say Shaq knows the real me, and I value Shaq. So what Shaq thinks, I care more. But you know what I'm saying? There's people that I know for 15 years that I still don't know the name of them. We have had dinner, we have talked and all this, but I don't really value them, not as a human, but just their thoughts or whatever, not in a bad way. That might come off a certain kind of way though. But the way they go about their thing, it doesn't affect me. If they have $1 million and I won't take the bus, but if I'm just walking or taking the BART or something, I wouldn't like begrudge them. So there's not like a envy or anger or jealousy in me. I just know that about myself, and I love me first of all. And so if you value yourself and it's not based on what you're wearing, or I don't have this, or I need to go to this church, or I need to be associated with this person, or I need to be seen on Instagram. First of all, I think like the social media have taken value away from just people connected in a holistic kind of way, you know?
So how do you get to the place where you found out you love yourself? Because a lot of African-American males or a lot of people don't love themselves. I know I love me, but it took me, that was a journey. You know, after some deaths, after some losses, I had to find me or I was going to lose my mind. And this ain't no therapy session. Anybody can join in with us. I'm just saying, we got Marcel, we got Charles, Merry Christmas, we got Will, Merry Christmas, we got Anthony, Merry Christmas, we had Dylan, and we got James. But it's difficult, Gabriel. It's difficult for people to love themselves. Because, you know, you probably woke up in a negative family. Whatever, your mama didn't love herself, so she talked crazy to you, or your brother and sister them didn't love themselves because mama was treating you better than them. how do you deal? How did you come to the place before therapy that you started loving you?
Honestly, I think it went back to like my grandmother. If I'm to be honest right now, because
Okay.
there's parts of life that's a struggle in a way that I don't think anyone could really know that. I've checked all the boxes of island, Black American, Black Islander, education struggles, life struggles, shot, incarceration, all this, right? College
Robbed. Don't forget you
education,
got robbed when you got
right?
shot. Yes.
Shot, everything. That being said, the love for self, I don't. Any situation I've been in, I feel like I've been better off than most. Um, and my grandma always have said this: the love that she have given me, it's like it gets me through anything and everything. It's like I've never, yeah. It's actually the love that she have given me. Like so many when I was so young, when I couldn't even appreciate it, it comes out in just conversation and in just my daily thing because others that have more or whatever is not able to like give the same kind of love or even appreciation for what they have or don't have. But it's actually the love that I was given, not a mother's love, but a grandmother's love.
So is that why you love you and you're able to love
I,
others because of your
I
grandma?
well, I would say yes because of the dynamic of the situation and the selflessness of that love. And it just radiate through me, and for something her spirit lives through me, and that, yeah, I love. And even, yes, I'm sitting with my son yesterday and Marcia here, and she like baking and stuff, and I'm like, I'm so happy. Is it Chris? I'm just joyful. Like I'm not doing anything. There's some stuff I needed to do, and I'm like, I'm just happy. I'm like, what is that about? I'm tired, but I'm just happy, and I'm like looking at my son smile, and that was like more than money itself. It was enriching. And so, there's different stuff that we don't really value that it's like, man, it's great. Life
So did
is
you experience that type of love when you was growing up?
um
That
yes.
love that you just talked about, how you feel about your son, you just sitting there chilling. It ain't about the money, it ain't about nothing else. It's just that quality time you hanging out with that baby. Have you always experienced that type of love?
You know what? I don't think so. No, of course not. But that's been a part of it. I feel like there was so much that it was scattered, but that's what my focus, or that's what it's like, that's my main thing, like grandma. Even when there's like confusion or there's other things going on, it's like, oh, I have this stable or stability part of it, you
So,
know.
so is your grandma still alive?
Now she passed what, 28 years ago, bro.
And you still carry that love that she gave you from a child to now?
Oh, oh yeah, yeah, of course. It's like, I don't know how many of you have ever met a person that you never heard like one negative thing about, not one. And like a person that should have a negative thing to say about another person. So that was my grandmother, to where a community, there's not one, it's not like,
I don't know what's going on with the stream. You can't hear nothing.
I can hear fine. You might have to chime back in, Ezekiel. Can you hear me? That's Ezekiel. Go ahead. We still listening. Go ahead. And Anwar.
yeah, but yeah, I still have it, but yeah, she's just was angelic person that but at the same time, spoil. I got away with a lot of different little thing, and to my shortcoming. But part of my
Shot.
I don't
P shot.
care about certain thing. It's because of her, or what people think. I always was like, I am enough.
I hear you. Go ahead. You said you to her you was enough.
Yeah, like always tell me that I am enough. Like I'm all that it is. This is your roots. This is where you came from. This is this. You know, it wasn't like and also there was like business owner. So I'm always I came from that too. Like I
Hey,
get my own, gain my own.
no sound. We can't hear y'all. We
I,
cannot hear y'all.
I don't know why. Can you hear me now?
I can't even hear you right now. What you saying?
I
Your
ain't saying
microphone.
nothing. I'm saying, can you hear me? Everybody else, can any of y'all hear me? Because y'all might have to chime back. Y'all might have to chime out.
Do y'all hear
Yeah,
him?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can
I can
hear
hear.
yeah,
him,
I
but
can
I
hear
yeah,
him
can't hear
clear.
the
I
other.
don't hear nothing.
We
yeah.
can hear
Mike,
you.
just
You just
chime back in, log out, and then come back in.
Yeah, log out, log back in.
Somebody text him and tell him that he might have muted
Okay.
himself. He might have muted or turned his microphone off.
Somebody, can you take him? Oh, hey. That was Chris. You got to chime out and chime back in.
It's you they can't hear.
No, I'm not on mute. We're talking. Everybody hears us, just you. So chime out, chime back in.
You want me to take it?
No, you good. I thought you was somebody. All right, y'all, go ahead. Anwar, you can finish up. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I was saying, yeah, basically that it's from her that whatever I give my children or anyone else, it's just it's really a part of me, and and also nothing is always as worse as it seems, and just like with everyone else, it's with the struggle of just finding that balance of everything, because I don't believe in like turning the other cheek either, but I do believe I'm not all the way. I got some room to grow and stuff. So, but she gave me a foundation to where I just have ultimate belief in self, and not to begrudge anyone, and just a love. And she's always been that like person that walk, and everyone in the community has always like uplift her, and to just not have one thing to this day, just one thing, somebody say a negative thing. I don't know anyone like that. So that
It just seemed like to me that people from the islands or people who have history from the islands have a different perspective on life, and they just look different and move different, and swag is different. Y'all know
well,
that's Chris right there.
even I say in the U.S., like we hear people in Oakland swag different from people in Hayward, or
Right,
even
right.
San Francisco, North Carolina is kind of different from Atlanta. LA is different from up here. So and it's environmental, and what we see, what we take in. The slang is different in certain places, and just value system too. So that's kind of like everyone or everywhere kind of have a different kind of outlook, but we all go in the same direction. So that's why sometimes I think people got to understand that there's many roads to the same destination, or it's not just one way. So this is the right way or the only way. There's you could take many route to the same place.
Hey man, I think it's cool, bro, because this was not, you did not sign up for this morning, but you chimed in. And I don't know if a lot of African American males or a lot of people talk to people who has a degree in therapy. And even though you don't practice that, I just wanted people to know there's regular people with regular swag, got regular situations going on, but have a degree in therapy. You know
Yes,
what I'm saying?
sir.
So I'm excited, bro. I appreciate you, man, just for stepping up this morning, for just being who you are, because that's who you are. You'll talk to anybody, anytime, no matter where. You ain't holding. You just you. So I'm excited, man.
Well, thank you, brother. You know, I didn't even know why I click on either, brother. I thought it might have been a Friday thing. I saw it, the link popped up. I touched it.
Hey, bro. Well, I'm glad I shocked you, bro. But anybody else, if y'all want to, y'all got comments or whatever, because I'm saying, how do people wake up? You know, what do you do? And Merry Christmas to everybody. I'm just trying to figure out, what do you do when you get up in the morning? Are you positive, or you wake up? I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. You know, that's how we even got to this. But I was just excited because Anwar was on the phone. And Marcel, good morning. I see you on here a couple times. But, you know, Charles White, James, all of y'all, good morning. Merry Christmas. Chris is in the house, y'all. Y'all see Chris?
Good morning. Merry Christmas, everybody.
What's up, fellas?
Yeah. Go ahead. Anybody who got, how do you wake up in the morning, or how do you feel about what Anwar was just talking about? What do you think about what Anwar was just talking about? Anybody?
Morning.
Ahead,
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
No, go ahead. I think somebody started talking before me.
Oh, what was that? Ezekiel?
Go ahead.
No, that was James. That was James. He said, go ahead.
Well, I missed part of it. I got disconnected a couple times. But earlier when you were talking about you being a pastor and being a therapist, I believe that anything or any person that someone utilizes to help make them a better person is part of the therapy, whether it's your pastor, a therapist, your neighbor, your best friend, anybody you utilize just to help you become better every day. That's all therapy. This is therapy. Group talking is therapy. Being able to vent is therapy. You know what I mean? So y'all is the same, just in a different lane, but the same goal.
Well, I appreciate that. I just wanted to put out there, because the majority of people who kind of see us hanging out has issues with us hanging out, even though we don't care. You know, we brothers. You know, we brothers, and we gonna always be brothers. But I'm just saying, if you look at it from different perspectives, different places, people have a tendency to judge it differently. You know what I'm saying? So
Even though we know we ain't supposed to judge, people do it anyway.
right. But the thing that I'm excited about, man, that as brothers, and we all come from different places, but the reality of it, all of us are dealing with the same stuff. And I don't think sometimes we're honest with each other dealing with the same stuff, because sometimes being honest with yourself is the most craziest thing ever. You know, you got to wake up and realistically be honest with yourself. You got to do a self inventory of yourself. And if you don't do that, you know, next Thursday, I'll be married. And me and Ezekiel had this conversation. Next Thursday, I'll be married 44 years. And we've been together on Valentine's Day, which is her birthday, 46 years. And really, she was my boss at work. So I can say from 17, I've never been single. And yet, I've been single in my teens, my 20s, my 30s, my 40s, my 50s, and now I'm in my 60s. I've never been single. So some conversations, I don't get. Some relationships, I don't get. Because I've been in a relationship my entire life that I can remember.
And good for you,
Me too,
because
Shaq,
being
but
on this
we on
side
a
is
different
ghetto.
path.
Wait a minute, two people was talking. Somebody said it's ghetto, and somebody said what?
I said, be lucky on that side, because being on this side of it's ghetto.
Well,
It's
yeah,
hard.
basically, I said I've always been in a relationship too, Shaq. But as you already know, it's a little different.
Yeah, your relationships and my relationships are totally different. I've been
I
in a
haven't been
relationship with
single
one
since
person.
15 either.
Right. I've been in a relationship with one person, consistent. net the whole time. You know. Go ahead. Somebody else is talking.
I was gonna share this idea
Go ahead,
when you
Marcel.
said when you were earlier, I heard him talking about loving yourself.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, from I say speak for myself, and it sounds crazy, but going through life, I didn't even. It was more so I wasn't even understanding of my place in life. I just felt like I was a part of life, and then also too, my identity came from my environment and with my experiences. Right, a lot of times that's how.
On a therapy
Can,
call.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I was saying is I didn't even realize that I just was a person in this experience. When you say talking about loving yourself, had no idea what that is, and I'm 42 now, and I'm finally getting to a space to where the love of me just identifying who I am, because a lot of times people don't know who they are. They never put the thought into it, like who you are, and without that, like you don't even have boundaries, for yourself. But you have to. What happens is going through life, you go through a lot of experiences that you start to identify yourself as, right? And those experiences affect you in certain ways, and it shapes and molds you in certain ways to where you get a lot of your experience through your perception or your perception. I'm sorry, your experience, your perception through your experiences, which shapes and molds you. And then that's why you get a lot of times people are like broken down, and they get to like a dark, deep place, and then they're figuring out I am important, and how do I build myself? So you start in this position to where you're just going through life, experiencing things, you're becoming this person, not realizing that if you did love yourself, you'd have boundaries, and you could have avoided a lot of things, but you just didn't even really have an idea of yourself in that space.
Do,
Yeah.
do you think our parents didn't have enough love to show us how to love ourselves?
I think that we are in a place now of people recognizing what self-love is.
Okay.
Like
Yeah, because
it wasn't even a conversation. And I can think of a lot of scenarios to where like man to man, that wasn't even a thing. Like, I love you. The
right,
maternal love you always got. Your grandma gave you, your mom gave you, whether they said it or not, you felt it.
right.
But now we're in a space to where there's a lot of men that are broken because we weren't even aware of like what love is. And love is a subjective thing. It means something different to everybody.
Yeah.
If I ask you, some people say, I love food, I love cars, and it's like, well, if you think in proper context, what is love? Love is it's a verb, it's an action versus, but we just freely say it in a lot of ways to where you say, what is love? Somebody's going to say something different. But I said that to say, a lot of times now where I'm at, I realize, like, I'll say to my friends, hey, bro, I love you. A lot of times they don't even know how to respond to that. They probably never even heard it.
Right, right.
And so that you've never really experienced your friend or your brother saying I love you, it's foreign to them and it's uncomfortable. I can remember with my dad. um he wasn't it was a terrible experience, but as an adult, he was trying to, because he came, but also too I realized when my mom and dad, when they got together, they were young, they didn't know a lot,
Right.
right? And so they experience a lot, and then when they're trying to figure themselves out in a relationship, all the craziness, you experience that and you see it, you hear it, so you have these ideas of certain people and the roles that they're playing in life. But I said that to say, as an adult, I remember one time my dad, he said, give me some sugar, and it was the weirdest thing ever because I'm like, wait, hold on. Like, and then I felt awkward, and I gave him a kiss on his cheek, and the hair on his face, me kissing that, it made me uncomfortable.
Okay.
And I was almost an adult at that point. But I'm saying, like, and I've always been, I believe, like, in touch with my inner spirit or intuition.
Mm-hmm.
I was a visual person. I learned a lot with like just watching stuff. Because
Okay.
I was kind of a mute child, but like I say, just now I'm learning how to exercise my expression of love to others. And I'm realizing that a lot of people have not been told that they're loved by another man, or that they've been loved, period, or even that showing expression of love, like through just showing up or caring for somebody. Like it's a foreign thing to a lot of people, and even to me in some regards, you know. So that idea of love, and parents not showing it, I think before it was more of an action thing,
Okay.
but now we're just vocalizing it, and it's a new space in, you know, the expression of love.
Well, I learned something. I was watching a video, right? And on the video, my parents was talking. And so I'm the 12th child of 14 kids, right?
Mm.
I'm the 12th child of 14 kids. And out of 10 boys, I'm the only one who graduated, right? So my brothers and them, a majority of my family never liked me just because I graduated, which is the dumbest thing I ever heard in my whole entire life. But that's just me, because the rest of them sold drugs, smoked weed, smoked coke, did whatever, right? And I was always this black sheep. And you know, I googled what black sheep mean, and it almost means like God allowed you to be in this particular family because you was going to be the one who's going to pray for this family, always had this family in your mind. So I'm listening to a video. My dad says, I met your mom. No, I met her when she was 15, right? Now, when she was 15, her mom had already been dead 5 years. My grandfather is white. My grandmother is black. My mom ended up with her grandmother. So she never had a chance to meet her dad. She meets her dad when she's 15. By 16, her and my father is married. Her and my father move to California, gets married, and have a baby. I'm like, dude, you met this chick, got her pregnant, moved to California because my grandfather moved him to California because he was living in California. My grandfather gets murdered. Now this 15-year-old girl who's pregnant marries this dude in March. In July, have a baby. He's from the country, and he's in California with a fine because she's black, Indian, and white. You feel me? So she's bad. She can pass for white, whatever. And every time she have a baby, she bounced back to a size 9 or a 7 or whatever. So him being insecure, living in California, keep getting her pregnant, ends up with 14 kids. I had to understand their dynamic in order for me to be the person who I am today. I had to understand a 15-year-old girl who don't have a mama, who probably grandmother mad because this white dude she married, her daughter dies, you know, and she's blaming them, which make my mama negative because she only had a 6th grade education. My father only had a 2nd grade education, and they stayed married for 68 years. Both of them passed at 88 each. But I had to go through all of that to realize who I was, and in my marriage, understand who I was. Because at one point, my wife like, dude, you're crazy. You bringing you crazy. But she the first of 14. Like, you crazy too. But after I went over there and sat for a while, I realized what I brought to the table. And what I brought to the table was negativity. And I made a conscious decision to make a change. So I had to learn how to forgive my parents. I had to learn how to forgive my siblings. I had to learn how to start loving me. Because like you said, Marcel, I grew up in a house that nobody knew what love was. Man, love, what is that? Who even talks about love? Talking about love, you're gay, or you're a sissy, or you're a punk, or you're something. And then you find out you bring that foolishness into a relationship. You're trying to have a excellent family, and both of y'all came from dysfunction. Two dysfunctional people trying to have a good relationship. Ain't gonna work. But 44 years, I'm still married. 46 years, we still in it because we grew together and we're learning together. And sometimes, you know, it's difficult for me because I'm pretty direct because, you know, getting beat up. I'm the 12th child. I got beat up so much it didn't make sense. So I created this shell and being direct so that I wouldn't get hurt. You know what I'm saying? I ain't finna let you hurt me. And I was obese, so no. So now that I got get back. So you don't talk crazy to somebody been obese. They got instant get back. But that was my way of protecting myself. And then having people like Chris, like Anwar, like Anthony, like Ezekiel, like different brothers who I'm around, and we're like, love you, man. All right, bro, love you, bro. With nothing else behind, I love you, but I love you, and keep it moving. 9 kids, I love you, keep it moving. My kids, my sons, everybody know I love them. My daughter just told us the other day, oh, you don't love me. I'm like, first of all, love is an action word. You got 2 kids by 2 different dudes in 23 months. You driving a brand new Tesla and you living in my house, and neither one of them is contributing. If you don't think this love, you got issues, and you need to pray about it, or you need to talk to somebody. You need to go to a therapist. Now, somebody else would have been like, oh, you should have been a little more sensitive. You should have talked to her different. No, I'm not. I'm giving you, and a lot of times I'm direct and I give facts, and sometimes it's offensive to other people. And I apologize, but that's who I am. And I'm not saying it's okay. If you tell me I hurt you or your feelings, I'm apologize. But pretty much, this is how I present myself. You know what I'm saying?
I wanted to chime in on what Marcel said.
Okay.
It's kind of weird because as men, we don't take into consideration how deep self-love really is. We look at our environment and how we grew up, and we just stay right there. And that's not how it's supposed to go. Inside of that environment, you're still supposed to find self-love for yourself. A lot of us just become the product of our environment and then think that that's what self-love is supposed to look like, and it's not. And the thing that our parents should really be preaching to us is that regardless of whatever your situation is, you should still feel like you should still feel love within yourself. A lot of us just fall victim to our environment, and then we think that that's the right thing. And some environments are beautiful environments, like Amar. Amar has an environment where he love and he kiss up on his sons, and he can show that. A lot of men aren't really into that. A lot of men don't do those types of things. It's like, for me, when I leave me and my brother, we 8 months apart, and same dad was Rolling Stone. But before we leave each other, we tell each other we love each other and we give each other a kiss on the cheek. And so many times we've done that in public, and around men, like our friends that grew up in the neighborhood, and they like, y'all just gave each other a kiss on the cheek. It's like, yeah, because I don't know if I'm gonna see him again. I'd rather kiss him now than kiss him in his casket. It's like we don't get to the parts that's deeper. We see what's going on at that moment right then and there, and then we just accept that, and that's not how it is. It's like a lot of people don't even know that it. A lot of people do know, but they don't know how deep it is for us as men. That every single time that we walk out of our crib, we are a species, an endangered species. Especially as black men. Because there's so many things out there to tear us down than there is to build us up. So like when you find it in your heart to understand that you are not your environment, right? And that you don't want to be that type of father to your children, at that moment is when you got to take that, you know what I mean? Evaluate what that is, those feelings, those emotions, you know what I mean? Have that conversation with your child, with your son, and let them know, like, look, this is how I want to be able to express myself to you. This is how I want to love to you. I didn't receive this, and this is something that's new to me as well, but I want to be able to give that to you, because now you are not only raising a child, but you're raising a young man, right? That is going to be able to understand that, oh, my pops gave me this type of love. I can give this love to my child. You know what I mean? And not just some men get daughters and they're like, man, I'm just now realizing that, I got to have a different type of emotion with this child. It's like, before you get there, it's important for you to understand your self-love. It's important for you to understand who you are. It's important for you to find things, whether that's in the morning or throughout the day, you know, and give yourself those affirmations that's like, man, I love you. You know, it's all right to tell yourself that you love you. In order for you to say that you love somebody else, you should start with telling yourself that you love you, you know, and it's important to stay consistent. Whenever you find whatever it is that makes you feel good, makes your soul feel happy throughout the day, you gotta stay consistent with those things, you know, and that's how you'll be able to continue to build self-love.
Cool. Anybody else got a comment? And I know a lot of times we get caught up in these holidays, but I look at the holidays as time to just spend with family. I don't get caught up in, oh, it's Christmas, oh, it's Thanksgiving, oh, it's this, and that. I'm like, oh, no, it's the day we can all come together, hang out, and just have a good time. You know what I'm saying? We can all kick it, laugh, you know, spend time with each other. I don't get caught up in, oh, it's Christmas. Now I'm going to go buy my wife some gifts, because you don't buy gifts, you're going to get it. You're going to have a problem. And next week it's gonna be a problem.
So can I chime in?
Go ahead.
I think the beginning of the conversation was talking about, there's a couple things. Beginning of the conversation was about gratitude.
Yes.
Did I catch that? Okay. So for me, with gratitude, it's something that I picked up probably about maybe 2 years ago now. I have a gratitude journal.
Wow.
So and I picked this up from actually one of my executive coach at the time. But it's a journal. You can order it on Amazon. But it's a journal that you can write in daily or however you want to do it. I tried to do it daily, have always kept on it up on it daily. No. But what I do in that gratitude journal is I pretty much write down the things that I'm thankful for, or my feelings in the space that I'm currently in. So as I started to do it, I started it because I wanted to kind of change the focus of, I think sometimes people lose focus of what you got going on versus
Mhm.
what you want going on. I think the gentleman I spoke in the beginning, I sound like a therapist. My workout partner is a psychologist, and the anxiety and then the panic is living in the past and living in the future. You know, so it's like at some point you have to be able to live in the now.
Right.
So I inherited writing this gratitude journal. So that's what I do for the gratitude portion of it. To address something else someone else said about their grandmother, my grandmother shared with me, she's deceased now, God bless her soul, but she shared with me, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in you, because you got to be able to sell yourself. And as I moved on through personal life,
Okay.
professional life, it's just like going to a job interview. If you go to a job interview, you got to tell somebody about yourself. You got to be able to sell yourself. If you can't sell yourself, the people on the opposite side of the table not going to buy what you're selling. So when I mentor people, especially young people in the professional environment, I always give them this analysis. Go to a job interview, and I'm just using this as an example, just to kind of show perspective. Go to a job interview like you're going to a car lot, but you've already went to the bank and got the pre-approved loan for what you want. There's a difference between going to a car lot and allowing them to give you what they want to give you because you qualify, and you going there and getting what you want.
Right.
So I think that's where some people lose the perspective of taking what people give them versus what they actually want, if that makes sense.
Or it definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
But the other part that people don't understand, even in games, people are just looking for love. You know what I'm saying? That's why they
Yeah.
with them, because you know they love me, and if I have to kill somebody for them, that's because they love me. And I think relationships, even people, sometimes young men who get in messed up relationships, in same-sex relationships, somebody manipulated them and loved them, and then took advantage of them because they was looking for love. And I think the majority of the world is looking for love. I think everybody. Go ahead, Marcel. It sounded like you want to say something.
No, I was gonna say, or not even looking for love, they're just looking for acceptance.
Okay.
A lot of people are looking for acceptance. What the gentleman next to you was just saying, I had a thought. It was we show up for everything, but we don't show up for ourselves.
Okay.
It's like having a car. You're driving your car, you're going everywhere, but you're not doing the maintenance, right? So eventually the car breaks down. But when you start talking about self-love I would just ask this question to myself, and I'd extend it on to everyone that can hear this. What do you do to invest in yourself, to develop yourself, to give yourself not the self-love or self-care or getting your feet done? Yeah, I'm talking about going deep and doing shadow work, and also to wanting to understand where you're at, right, and how you got there, and then going back to fix the things that you know that you need areas of help. If that's, going to church, if that's reaching out to your buddies, if that's having a space to where you could talk about the most intimate things that you hold in your shadows and or in yourself, that you never even like really look at. You never open that door to say, hey, to be honest, I'm messed up, you know, and I want to be healed. But what am I doing? What steps am I taking? What measures am I taking to heal myself? And I would say for myself, I'm 42, but I realized I was in a relationship that was terrible, like terrible. And I was able to uh, be in it for so long because I have been preconditioned to unhealthy environments. When I was a
Mhm.
kid, I witnessed so much to where it's like, oh, it's not that bad.
Right.
Not realizing it's terrible. And I'm so far in to where how do you get out? And you don't, and you're showing up for everything, but not for yourself. And you realize, like, whoa, I'm out of gas, right? I'm out of gas. I need some relief, and I'm kind of stuck because of the ties that you, whether it's children, whether it's business, whether it's houses, whether it's finance, whether it's assets, like you get tied to these things, and you are willing to compromise, the things that, no, I take, not even that you're compromising things you stand for, because at this point you're willing to go with anything because you just don't have any framework or boundaries or self value. You can say all this stuff, but your actions are going to reflect what you really believe.
Mhm.
Your actions, what you do reflects what you really believe. And a lot of times we're in a deficit. Well, I'll speak for myself. I was in a deficit. I show up strong and I'm resilient and I'm strong, but this is out of a place of, um, is not out of a good place. And black, I would say this, black people, we are resilient. I
Right.
always say I say I'm like a roach. I'll they drop an atomic bomb, I'll still be here, right? Because I'm a survivor, and at some point in time in life, we got to get out of survival mode and get back into thriving mode. But you can't
Right.
thrive without knowing who oneself is and having those, because boundaries and relationships don't just protect you; it protects the relationship, and you have to teach people how to treat you. And
Right.
if you never draw those boundaries, people will do whatever they want to do. They'll make excuses and exemptions for themselves, and you start meeting people to where it's like, hey, I'm willing to walk away. And that willing to walk away a lot of times is I'm willing to put myself first, because I realize as men, we show up for kids, we show up for work, we show up for family, we show up for everybody. We don't show up for ourselves.
Hey, and you know the good thing about that. After my mom passed, right? So my mom passed. No, someone called me and told me I need to come to my mother. Right? You need to drive because I lived in Hayward. She lived in Tracy, which is 45 minutes away, and I'm a pastor. Right? So people are blowing up my phone. I need you to do this. I need you to do this. I need you to do this. They have no idea that I'm about to drive to my mom's house and she's passing away. Right? So I make it to the hospital. She passed. I got to deal with family members who are shenanigans because it's amazing when black people die, people think they can say what they want to say. So I'm dealing with that. But someone said, oh, when you get through doing what you're doing, I need you to do this for me. Literally, at that point, something in me totally changed. right? So I went through the process. I end up, like I said, nieces and nephews talking crazy. Now I got 9 kids. I got a wife. My mom don't have life insurance. She got all these kids, and only 3 of us are coming up with money to bury her because she didn't got rid of her life insurance to bail one of these individuals out of jail. I'm gonna just put it like that, right? So I realized, okay, bro, I'm cool. I'm cool. So this is my mom's funeral, December the 29th. My sister's at the funeral. That's a Saturday. Sunday, I pick up my sister, take her to church. Monday, we have my mom's burial because you can't bury anybody on the weekend. We don't hear from my sister. 2 days later, we find out my sister deceased. I have to go through this whole process again, bury my sister. So I'm getting bitter. I realize I'm getting bitter. Then a few weeks later, my wife's father dies. I'm getting bitter, but I'm still preaching. I'm still doing all the stuff. And I realize I'm bleeding while I'm leading. And I'm praying, and I'm like, you know what? I'm cool. I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm done with people. I'm done with people depending on me. I'm 283 pounds. I'm done. But I fly to Charlotte about 3 times, never find a house. Last time I fly to Charlotte, I was like, look, Lord, if I don't find a house before I get on the plane, I'm never coming back to this place. On my way to the airport, somebody called me. We find a house. I do the paperwork. I get approved. This is in May. My son and his fiance is called, oh, don't leave. We got a surprise for you in July. I'm bitter. You don't get this. I'm bitter. I'm preaching 2 Sundays. Somebody else preaching the other 2 Sundays. Finally, July the 7th, I preach. I go to their wedding. I go to their reception. I get on the road and I drive to Charlotte. And I realize the stress of life is lifting everywhere I go. And everybody is, oh my God, you can't leave ministry. You got to do this, and that. And I'm like, I'm not going to be one of them black, overweight preachers, fried chicken eating, middle of the night, to prove a point to any of you guys. I have to live. Because what happened, one of my friends was preaching and he dropped dead. Prior to this, another one of my friends preached the whole message, tore the church up, went home, committed suicide in his driveway. I was like, I'm cool. I'm out. All the people who had something to say, it really didn't matter. You ain't got my phone number. I don't care what you say. I live 3,000 miles away. And so I went through this whole process of finding me, learning how to love me, how to lose weight, how to take care of myself. So a lot of times people are like, oh, when you come at us, you're coming at us in a certain way. No, I've been through so much and dealt with so many ignorant people. Like in the middle of that, my oldest son, mom didn't have nowhere to stay. So me and my wife was like, it's cool. You can live with us. People, oh, he's living with 2 women. He doing this, and that. And I was at a place in life that I don't care what y'all think about me. What you think about me is none of my business. And then when our son passed 2 years ago, and then this year, my best friend passed, I really had to find space to find me, because I could have lost me in this. And that's how Therapy Thursday started, with me learning how to forgive me and apologize to me and deal with me and God by myself. Not worried about what other people think about me, not concerned about others. And that's how me and Anwar, that's why we good. That's why Chris is good, Ezekiel is good, and Anthony is good, because I check on people to make sure they're good. This dude is on the road from 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning to maybe 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening. Have anybody picked up the phone to check on him? Hey man, you good? You on the road? You good? I'm just checking in to see if you good. You know, Amar on the road. Hey man, I'm just checking to see if you good. You know, you don't need to be out there on the road. I know you're trying to make money for your family, but somebody need to check on you. I check on MacArthur. That's the other Chris. He's a UPS driver. It's the holidays. He got 400 packages. You know how frustrating that is? You got 400 packages. You might not get home to midnight, and you gotta take a shower. Make sure you tell the kids hi, eat dinner, get up in the morning, and do it all over again. You know what I'm saying? So I'm learning how to check on people because when I was preaching, nobody was checking on me. You know what I'm saying? My wife, my kids was the only people I had. So Therapy Thursday came about because I knew I needed to heal, but then I found out I wasn't the only one out here needed to heal. You know, I heard a song by a dude named Dax. You know, only women, children, and dogs are loved. Men is only loved for what they can bring to the table. And that changed my perspective. That's how Therapy Thursday came. So I just want to put that out there, y'all.
You know,
I was
it's
gonna
good.
piggyback off that and what Marcel was saying, and I think where the problem lies a lot of times is we have this believed Melrose image we've had to uphold over the generations, and for black men it's been even worse to where we put everybody first and we come last.
Right.
So we show love to everybody, we show support, we show strength and all this, and then our thoughts, our feelings, our mindset, our mental health comes last because we're not allowed in that Melrose image to focus on us first. We gotta make sure everyone else is good. But sometimes you do that too long, you run out of space, and now you falling, and you're not the strong one. So it's just one of those things that we have to get out of that aspect because one, if you're not whole or healthy, you can't be there for everybody else anyway. Or if it overloads and it gets too high, you know, it gets to a dangerous level, like you said, how you were checked out. I'm done. I can't help nobody else right now because you done
And not just
overflowed.
that, and not just that, you start to real talk. You start to like poison yourself. Like what that looks like is a lot of times people don't really they're not in tune with how to feel, so
Right.
they try to escape feelings. They start drinking. They start self-medicating. We'll start eating, overeating. We get these addictions and these patterns that lead us to a premature death. I got a
Right.
buddy. And not just that. Like they will be overconsumed with work. I got a buddy that beautiful man. He has a G wagon. He has a Rolls Royce. He has a Lamborghini. He has everything, and he's very successful. He's a beautiful man, like heart, good posture, everything. But I asked him on his birthday. I said, "How you doing?" He was like, "Well, I'm not doing so good, but he looks good. Everything. He's in shape. He works out." And he said, "I went to the doctor and I almost died, and I didn't know it." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He said, "The doctor told him he tore aorta in his heart out of stress. He has a heavy workload. He consumes himself with the work, so he doesn't really, I would say, he doesn't really have to feel so much. But he shows up. His representative is pristine, and it's man. He shows you couldn't tell he had a worry in the world. But how he's learned to manage and conceal that, he's not dealing with himself, and he keeps doing the thing that's not helping him to get better. He acquires more, but it almost killed him, literally. And he said it's called the silent killer. Stress is a silent killer. But in saying that, I was looking at myself. I was in such a bad place to where how I dealt with my emotions is through over consuming and eating, and it became this pattern of eating and sleeping. Next thing you know, I'm 330 pounds, and I had an accident on top of that, but I'm 330 pounds, and I'm like, what is going on? And then once I was able to get in a space to where I was able to remove myself out of the environment that was making me sick, I didn't even know until I got out of the environment. I didn't realize how unhealthy the environment was until I got into a healthy environment.
Wow.
The
How like
biggest.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Marcel.
No, go ahead. I'm
The,
complete.
the biggest lie we tell is to ourselves.
Yeah.
And the body doesn't know. The body doesn't know the difference between a lie and the truth. It just knows what you tell it, right? You could wake up in the morning and think that it's all fine and dandy, right? But deep down in your subconsciousness, you are stressed, and your body doesn't know which way to go. It doesn't know. You're lying to it. You're saying, hey, I'm doing this and I'm feeling good. I got a good day going ahead, and you really don't feel that way. So now what you're doing is you're doing stuff to the body that it doesn't like. You confusing the mind with the body. The mind is what tell the body what to do, right? But you're lying to yourself. You know what I mean? And then next thing you don't realize that it's spilling over into your life, and now you're lying to others. You know what I mean? So the boundaries, they start within you. You know what I mean? You have to. You said something specific, and was that Will?
Yeah,
Will. There's a beauty in the journey of us having to know what self-love is. You have to break it down so precisely in order for you to thrive. You get what I mean? In order for you to start thriving, you have to get to this place where you're not only holding yourself accountable, right? You're no longer lying to yourself, right? And you're also saying, like, regardless of whatever my situation is and whatever I'm going through, I have to do this for myself. Because it's going to become a life or death situation.
But here's the thing: you have to see yourself of value.
Yep.
A lot of people, I'm saying, like, you can know that you're valuable to other people, but not even valuable to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
right.
And that's when you overextend yourself. That's when you're showing up
Yep.
for everybody, and that's when it
Yep.
becomes this thing, like a person that, for myself, like
What's
as a
your name,
kid,
brother? That's talking right now.
Marcel.
Marcel.
yeah, my
Marcel.
name's Marcel.
You
Yeah,
touching some good points, dude.
I appreciate that. I'm just sharing what's in the heart in my experience, right? So what I realized as a kid, I saw so much, and I felt like I could fix people's problems. I felt like I could fix the world by being of service and putting myself last. And then now what I understand now is I'm very valuable and I can fix the world by fixing myself.
Right.
And as I started to work on myself and fix myself, I started to realize how people would respond after like conversations and engagement and just meeting people. They're like, whoa, because you build up your confidence, you show up different. But like I said, I don't believe that you're ever healed. It's like foil. Once you ball it up, you can lay it back out, but the imperfections are always going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
But just acknowledging that you are in a space. There's a lot of people, even myself in certain regards, you show up and you think that you're good and you're totally not even healthy in that space.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that have mental ill. I've been raised around a lot of people that had mental illness to where that became regular.
Right.
And when you had no knowledge of what's going on, then there's a point in time you say that's not cool, or that's not. Then you get another environment like, hey, this dude is sick.
Right.
This and you start realizing he's been that way his whole, and you can start to identify that in other people in life, right? But you can't tell them that you can't tell a sick person that they sick and they've been sick their whole life, right? You know, if they, you got to take medication, you got to hide it. Like even with therapy, like sometimes, and how therapy worked for me was I didn't realize how important it is to be able to verbalize, feel what you're feeling, to put it into words, like to understand it, and then be able to say it. And I think that through talking with people, because I do transformational coaching too, and there's a lot of like things that I discovered in myself talking to other people and listening. But as you can speak it, you actually are learning because you can hear it. You'll speak things you never even heard.
Mm-hmm. As a
That is,
man thinketh, so is he.
but it's suppressed down in there. We
Yeah.
I don't know how to put my feelings into words, but as you start to speak with people that you feel comfortable with, like, you know, there's a lot of self-discovery. But I said that to say, at the end of the day, we are the problem and the solution. And it all starts from living from the inside that we've been neglecting,
Mm-hmm.
inside out. It's
Yeah.
not outside in.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
spending time with yourself, right? Like you just said, oh, I went to the store, I bought the house all these groceries, I brought the wife gifts, I brought this and that, right? And then you have a day of 2 days where you just by yourself, right? And you're like, I can't even go to the store for myself. I haven't even brought myself a gift. I haven't done all those different things. When it's time for you to actually do for you, you don't know how to do it. You know what I mean? It's because you are conflicted by so many different things. You're conflicted by how you were raised as a male. You're conflicted about what you have in your life, you know what I mean, and what you have gone through. And none of those are reflections of who you truly are. Who you
A thing I always say, when I was a kid, like I was on welfare and all that was whatever, we were all on welfare. You didn't really see, all you seen success was they gave you that image through television,
Mhm.
Right.
right? So as a kid, I said, "Oh, I'm gonna get a Lamborghini. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get this." And I said, because that's what's gonna make me successful. As I got older, one day I said, "Oh, I'm gonna get a Lamborghini." And at the time we were buying expensive cars and all this stuff. But I got to this place of everything I said that I wanted to realize, like, this is not what I wanted.
Right.
I was, and as a grown adult, we have ideas when we're kids out of a deficit, right? That's gonna make us happy and fulfill us. And a lot of people never even experience, like, when you get there, that's not even what you needed. That thought was from a kid.
Right.
When you realize in perspective, like, that car is gonna cost you $1 million or 500,000. How much energy is that gonna take to not just get the car but maintain the car?
Right.
Yeah.
It's things that are pulling you away from yourself. So I'm just saying, like, now I think it's always a good point, even for myself, where I'm getting back to is my point of like just being working my way back and then realizing what do I really want?
Mhm.
Like, and here's the thing about this is what I learned the other day. I have friends that say, "Bro, you're very powerful." I can think of stuff and it happens, right? Like I have a very vivid, detailed way of thinking of things and manifesting it, right? But
Mhm.
in everything that I've ever said I wanted, I've got or I've achieved or I've done. But here's the thing: what I didn't realize when those things came, I never said I want peace, love, and happiness, and I didn't get those things. So you could obtain these things, but it's like, what is it that you really need? Like, well, not just what you want, but what do you really need to get yourself back to a place that where you're balanced, and you can have a life that is worth living, that you enjoy, that you're not gonna have regrets. I mean, this far I don't have any regrets in life. They're all learning lessons, but I do realize it's a fine line between, I see where people fall off and they give up and they lose hope
And it's
because they've been
easy.
in a space of survival for so long,
Yeah.
and that ship ends up sinking because they haven't been able to find ways to have healthy ways to get them back to a place of balance.
Yeah.
And that's where I see a lot of men, a lot of my friends, a lot of even myself. I'm just grateful that I've never had any crazy. I think life is great. I've never had suicidal thoughts or that sort of stuff. But I do realize, like, I'm a person that works. I'm more effective when I'm in a disposition versus being. And it's a weird thing to where I can take I can take the least of the most and make the most out of it
Right.
because I've been my whole life from welfare. I would take a food stamp and go to the store and buy two pieces of candy to get 50 cents to go swimming.
Hey,
Because like
stay
you
right
got to
there.
get creative. You start to get creative, but
Yeah.
then there's a place where you got to get out of that mindset because now you're working from a place of deficit. How do I get to a baseline to where I can move a place to a place of thriving?
Yeah. Because then you'll
To
start
alleviate the
manifesting
anxiety,
what
to
you want.
alleviate all that stuff that'll kill you eventually. But yeah, that
Yeah.
was it.
You'll start manifesting everything that you want, but you didn't get past that
My
part right
sound
there.
just went out.
Oh,
Oh,
who
My
sound? You
sound. I
can't
can't hear nothing.
you can't hear? Let me see if mine's out. I can we can still hear you. Marcel, we can still hear you. We can hear you. We can hear
he's
you.
gone. He's gone now.
He left. Can anybody else hear us? You hear us? Okay. So until Marcel come back. Oh, here you go. Marcel, can you hear us now? Because
I
we can
can
hear you.
I can hear now. I had to log out to log back in.
Yeah, we heard everything you said. So
Okay.
yeah. Chris wanted to comment on something. He told you to stay there. Go ahead, Chris.
I can't. Oh yeah. You'll start manifesting the things that you wanted, right? And then they'll get there, right? And then you'll still be in survival. And then you don't realize that that's a whole nother step. right? It's like you got this nice, you say, God, I want a house, you know, I want this space, I want this peace, I want all of this, and you got it, right? But then you're still in there and you throwing oodles and noodles into the fridge. You still there just doing all the survival tactics that you learned as a child or from your upbringing, you know what I mean? And you don't even know how to give to yourself, right? And that's a part of it. And if you don't have that self-love, then you can't have anything else because you won't be able to enjoy it. You know what I mean? You'll just take it for whatever it is. Time will fly, and then you'll find yourself thinking about what you had and what you could have had. You know what I mean? Versus just being right there in the now. And we don't we don't spend time there a lot, right? A lot of us as men, man, we we die from stress. If you want to be honest, we die from stress. We die from alcohol. We die from just pretty much doing everything to destroy ourselves. That's how we die. Because God has already given us the ability to be strong, right? To be strong in the mind, strong in the body, right? He's given us the ability to be able to do that. But we can't even get to those parts, right? Because we have all these other entities that are just flying over us. And we gotta remove those. So when you remove those, you're making space for everything else that's to come. You know? So everything that you're saying is A1. And Will says something that hit me. He said that he has a gratitude book, you know, and it's like sitting down and giving yourself gratitude, right? After you've held yourself accountable. See, a lot of times as men, we just always want to hold ourselves accountable. Somebody's always telling us to hold ourselves accountable or giving us reasons to hold ourselves accountable. We've been dealing with that since kids, since boys, you know, but we don't give ourselves the gratitude in saying that, man, I'm actually proud of where I've come. Let me write down today that I made this young man have a smile. I hadn't seen him smile since I've known him. You know what I mean? It's like writing those things down so that you don't forget who you are as a person. You know, you could go back and look at the list of things that you were grateful for versus somebody that never listed those things, right? And now they're finding in the next day something to pull them out of, you know what I mean, what they're going through. You know, so it's like having a gratitude book is just like, man, I'm going through something right now. Let me go back to this book and see what I was actually grateful for and what I was thankful for. Because there's so many things to let you know the opposite of that, what you've done bad. You know what I mean? Who you affected and all of these different types of things. And even so, that's why it's important for you to have a woman that pours into you, right? Because you can have a woman that holds you accountable for everything and not her own actions. And now you feel like that is of you. Now you feel like that is who you are destined to be, and that's the love that you want to give to that person. You are completely conflicted, and that's important too.
You know, you said something a while ago. By the way, I have to give you roses, brother. You're a very intelligent brother, man. I respect and honor and I appreciate that. But I remember
Same
you
to you,
had
my brother. Same to you.
I received that. But I was gonna say a while ago you said I want to say that was you. We were talking. It was maybe a month ago, and you said that you graduated college, right? You're the
Yeah.
first one to grad. Okay, so then even to what Shaq was saying about okay, he's sharing his journey as well. But when you said that or he was speaking about the black sheep of doing something positive outside of the patterns that your family has done, you do stand out. They may not hate you. I would say they envy you,
Hmm.
and then the envy can become hate.
Yeah.
Because envy is not necessarily a bad thing, but when it turns to hate,
Hmm.
because a lot of times they're not willing to put forth the effort, they can do it, but they're not going to commit to what you committed to, and they'll see you
Right.
do it, and that's vicariously living through you. But what I was going to say is when you said something that I shared with a couple different people, I said when you said you graduated, I'm kind of in the same place of Shaq, right? Like done these things that outside of what my family has done, and they look at it as you're the success and you are responsible for other people not being responsible in their lives, right?
Hmm.
The burdens get shifted onto you, and that's not and sometimes you try to run with that for a while, but it doesn't work. It'll sink your ship. But what I was saying is, when you said that you graduated and no one did nothing, like they didn't, you said something that was crazy. You said they didn't know how to celebrate that.
So,
They didn't know.
Right
And
here.
I'm
Hold on,
talking
hold
about
on.
my family. Like I've been in my career for 22 years. As of like last week, I've done a lot of things that are just normal, like normal stuff. And people don't know how to celebrate that. They actually look at it as if it's and then the world says don't give yourself too much attention or don't praise yourself. And it's like, but at some point in time, if you're not, you, those things do help you to keep pushing and going forward. Like people to say, hey man, good job. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm-hmm.
even to hear someone say, I'm proud of you,
Mm-hmm.
like it just doesn't happen. And
Yep.
then once I start
My
receiving that,
first
I'm
pick
like,
around, we
oh,
got more
that felt
NBA
good.
coming up, but
You
back
know what I
into
mean?
the
And I'm like,
NFL. That's what
how
a
come no
team.
one else says good job or I'm proud of you? It's always something negative. But in saying that, I was just gonna point out when you said they don't know how to celebrate it, that was just like a game changer because that that was like liberating for me because I'm like, that makes sense. And you also said that if you are the first, you may set the tone for others to come behind you. And if it takes for the fifth person to follow your path, and then they learn because now they can acclimate to this new idea or this new thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you're fine with that. I said, boy, that's drop the mic, man. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Drop the mic because again, people don't know how to approach. They don't know how to acknowledge. They don't know how to even celebrate certain things that makes them feel some type of way
Mm-hmm.
because they're looking at themselves, but they're seeing you, but they're trying to see themselves in your position, but they're just not willing to commit and do the work.
Yeah, I sat in like sorrow for a minute
I
after.
lost you again. I can't hear.
okay, we can still hear you, Marcel. I don't know why Marcel's phone keep dropping. I can hear you. We can hear you.
Hold on. I want to hear what he's gonna say.
Go ahead, Chris.
Um, yeah, I sat in sorrow for a minute. I sat with having to reflect off over those last 4 years of me just going to school, waking up, going to class. Also me having also me having the understanding of I was trying to accomplish something, right? And I was trying to accomplish something for the sake of my family. But as I was accomplishing it, I realized that my family, I seen the disconnection as I was accomplishing it. When it's the lack of people coming to my games, oh, I can't make it, I can't do this, I can't do that. Over the time period, I started to have an understanding of, oh, I'm doing something right now that they're not understanding right now. And I have to oh and I have to is who's that right there at the bottom? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
he hear you.
Oh, okay. Um
He hear
okay.
you. Go
Um
ahead.
yeah, so I had to have the understanding of that these people don't quite understand the path that I'm on right now, right? It's because somebody can tell you, hey, do this, do this, do this, do this, right? Because it's a reflection of what they can't do, right? So when I got to sit down in that sorrow or in that space of not feeling like I was accomplished, I had to sit and be like, well, where am I right now? You know what I mean? And once I realized that I was there and nobody else was there with me, I had to have that understanding of I am putting too much pressure on them to to push me through this or to give me the confidence that I need to get through this. But they didn't have an understanding of that. I'm the first. So I understood that I was going to have to weave my way through that. Now, when it got to actual graduation day, you know what I mean? And I'm like, man, I'm cum laude. I'm like, it's only 20 of us, you know what I mean? Like, ooh, and my peoples are there. And at the end, it's just like I see them celebrating for themselves. I don't feel as, oh, I'm proud of you. I see my mom, I see these type of people, everybody want to give me a hug. My baby made it, my baby made it, you know what I mean? And it's like, I did, you know, but I'm hoping that they would be able to give me something in return, which is a clap, a pat on the back. You know what I mean? Those things, they don't know how to give reassurance. How can they give reassurance to something they've never accomplished? So at that moment, I had to realize, like, oh, okay, this is what it means to lead, right? And I have to sit down with that even more after feeling that a month after graduating and just sitting in this. I was sitting in a space where it was like I didn't know if I wanted to be sad or if I wanted to be angry. And spending that time with myself, I realized that, oh, this might not be for right now. This might not even be for the 5 people that are right here, right now, celebrating with you. This might be for your sister's child. This might be for your child. This might be for your child's 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 child. You know what I mean? But you are creating a route that one day, someday, somebody will see that path. It's just like when we were kids and we made shortcuts, right? In the beginning, the shortcut wasn't dirt. It was grass. It was trees. It was all types of stuff. And the more and more that we consistently went through that path, it made its own dirt trail. And then it became a path for everybody else. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I had to realize. And I kept that on with my whole life. I'm grateful that I went through that moment, because what it showed me is that I'm a pioneer. You know, I hold the compass. You know, so if I hold the compass, then I have to make sure that I keep going until there's somebody that says, that compass is interesting. Can you tell me what that is? You know, and then that's my time to lead. So, yeah.
You was already leading though. You was already leading.
Yeah.
They level of development just wasn't there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We all as men, we're sorry, I'm Rick, guys. I'm Marcel's, one of Marcel's best friends. We as men, we're in the bottom. We're in a upward fight. It's not geared towards us winning. No matter, we're damned if we do, we damned if we don't. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you being a college student and doing all that for your family and for the future and the future and the future, you wanted just a little bit of acknowledgement that, okay, I see you, cuz. But the point is, excuse my language, niggas only gonna put you as high as they expect you to be. If they expect you to be a doctor and you want to go get your master's and whatever it is over than that, and you trying to do too much, you trying to be smart. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about that. They want you just to be the, you know what I'm saying, Jamal, you know what I'm saying, the chicken cooker, you know what I'm saying, the barbecue nigga, you feel me? But you talking about I'm finna be a cop. You finna be a what? A cop. Yeah, it got good benefits, it's a good career. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy because as men, we get kicked. We get kicked. It's like walking in the house every day and get like a dog getting kicked in the cage. All that dog knows every day you come in the house, that cage is getting kicked. You turn around expecting that cage, and there's somebody coming in trying to pet you. What the fuck is a pet? What is a pet? I don't know what a pet is. You feel me?
Really quick, Rick. Hey, respectfully, I didn't tell you, but this is like a Christian.
I'm sorry, guys. I totally apologize. It was just totally out my thing. But now I'll be mindful of that. You know what I'm saying? That's what friends are for. All I'm saying is though, but yeah, you didn't say nothing wrong. But all I was trying to say is, people will put you in a box, and once you surpass that level of expectation of them, oh, who do you think he is? You feel me? It's that, and we as humans and as people, we genuinely want to be nurtured. We want some sort of acknowledgement, like you said. Okay, woo. But once you go through all the struggles and all the, you know what I'm saying, those nights where you just wanted a elbow or somebody to talk to and be like, "Cuz, you got this, man. You're the first person in the family to do this." No, Once you graduate, then they are there. Like my cousin did this, Nah, man, look, man. All I asked for was just a little stroke, just a little pet,
But
and that's all. That
even
And Rick,
a dog needs to be petted. Yeah.
yeah, I appreciate what Rick is saying, but
that was a great analogy.
but we're the beginning of doing that. Like I have a little grandson, right? His dad is this color, right? I have to call him a prince. I have to call him a king. I gotta speak life into him because one, when he grow up, he's gonna deal with complexion issues. So I gotta make sure he don't have complexion issues now, and build his self-esteem up. That when he hit the block, he the best thing that ever touched the block.
That's like me. I had that same issue. But when I walked in, I had that confidence, and they're like, he think he fine. I am, baby. You know what I'm saying? I am. God made me like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm the best of both worlds. I'm a day walker. Let me spend a couple of hours with nephew. You feel me? I'll tell him how to do this light skin thing. You feel me?
Right, but I'm saying either you built that or somebody built that in you, and I had to learn that, and I had to build that into my children, to my kids, so my children understand who they are. My grandkids understand who they are, because going back, realizing a 15-year-old girl married a 17-year-old dude whose mom was dead at 10, whose grandmother was mad at the dude she married. You know what I'm saying? So once I understood that they didn't even have the capacity, then you make it to California and your cousin kills your dad, the dude who you was getting ready to meet. So she didn't have the capacity. She grew up with her kids. So she didn't hang out with older women and stuff like that. So I had to understand who she was. I had to understand who my dad was, because my dad just believed in work and he was an entrepreneur. And once I understood all that, all the drama and anger and frustration I had, I let that stuff go.
It's 100%. That's part of growth and evolution as a man. Once you understand the people that you're dealing with, the level of their development, then once you adapt to that and accordingly deal with them like that, then that's how you know. You can't deal with somebody that's 40 years old that thinks 1 + 1 is 5. I don't have time to explain that to you, baby girl. You feel me? If you are 1 + 1 is 5, okay, you get to a certain age and you are who you are. You have a choice to be who you are once you hit a certain age. Once you learn fire is hot, means don't touch that. It's hot. What you want to do as a kid, you want to touch it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that's hot. And now I know what hot is. But once you learn as a man the intricacies and the what is it of manhood, then you when you're dealing with people of lesser development, you can't get mad at them for believing 1 + 1 is 5. And I'm just over here with the 1 + 1 is 2ers. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because you don't get that time.
But we are the ones who's going to teach him 1 + 1 is 2.
We could teach them, but they have to. You could drag somebody across the whole desert. But that pond that's right there, I can't put your tongue in there. Okay, you got to do something. You got to do something.
So if that person don't get it, let's help the next person. Because at the end of the day, I got to speak so much life into this dude.
Yep.
That when he hit the pavement,
it's just natural. It's just natural. What's understood don't gotta be explained. You feel me? If it's in you, it's in you. You feel me? All that set aside, you're a present. You're a present father. You're a present father. You're a present dad. You're a present grandfather. That matters. All that set aside, it's up to the kid to retain it. You feel me? Because you could be the perfect dad and do all that, and then that little nigga turn out to be a killer.
Hey,
Good morning.
I'm sorry. The N word. We hear. I'm sorry.
I'm having audio issues. I'm trying to jump in like double dutch.
Back in.
Go ahead, jump in.
Come on, man. Y'all let me.
Back out and back in then.
But
we hear you. Go ahead.
I appreciate being on here today. It's kind of what I needed. You know, That young man right there, he don't know it, but he got a lot of game on here right now, and he's soaking it in. I know he's soaking it in. You know what I'm saying?
What's his nickname?
Huh?
So we can. What's his nephew's nickname?
We just call his name is Namir Prince.
What's his nickname? Little fat?
No. We try to stay away from nicknames. We call you who you are. That's what we do. But go ahead, man.
Yeah, so like I said, we remember so much from even, you know, a year or 2 years old. We soak up so much stuff, and you know, we had these memories, but then sometimes we can't even remember what happened a month ago or 2 years. You know what I'm saying? But I say all that to say that I've learned so much about myself, pouring others, talking to other people. I've learned so much about myself because I'm telling somebody something, and I'm like, hey, I could use that. Hey, I need that.
You got to be open to that though, too.
Yeah.
Everybody ain't open to that. A lot of people are stuck in their ways. People don't like to be told.
Right. But like you said, all you could do is pour into somebody, and it's their decision.
That's it.
Even with our children, you know, I'm raising a 14-year-old son now, and all I could tell him is what I could tell him. You know, at a certain point, I'm just his advisor. All I could advise you, know what I've been through, what my people been through, and possible things you might go through. Now, you could listen if you want to, you could adopt it if you want to, or you could be like, man, Pops don't know what he talking about, and you gonna find out. You might find
The
out
hard way.
but you gonna.
Can I say one thing? When we was young, did we listen?
You know what, man? My father was
That,
a wealth of knowledge.
The OG you, the young you, would you listen to the OG you?
Well, this is what the scriptures say, Charles. Train them up in the way they.
That's all I want you to know.
And when you get
Because when we was young,
and when you get old, you'll come back to the training.
Yeah.
So,
my dad dropped so many jewels. I'm 52 years old. I'm still
100%, and we don't know that.
You know,
we don't know that because my bad.
He had a saying. He said, you know, find you somebody that I'm gonna use some streets down here. He said, find somebody that's gonna kiss your butt on Florin, and you make sure you kiss their butt on Mac Road. You know what I'm saying? He said, my pop said it how he said it, but you know, we here right now. But I never understood it. You know, like, Pop, I ain't nobody's butt and da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? And then I get to a point, and then he was saying, okay, you know, do for others. You know, like he had another saying too. He said, I'm gonna take care of mom. Your mom gonna take care of me, and we're gonna take care of y'all together.
That part.
I like that. you know, it's sometimes in life, man.
Say that again.
Which part?
I'm gonna take care of me, and
He said, I'm gonna take care of mom, and then we're gonna take care of them together.
Right.
I was gonna say sometimes in life, your knowledge has to catch up because you what you're speaking into your grandson. Sometimes he'll have the knowledge, but his experience has to catch up with the knowledge, and then it comes full circle.
Right.
Also, what you show. That's the biggest. Right? As I'm not a father yet, right? But one thing that I do know is this. I talked to him. My father wasn't in my life. You know what I mean? So in the beginning of this year, he had called me 100 times. Listen, he called me 100 times. I ignored all 100. I ignored all 99. And to the 100th time I picked up. And I was just like, I'm looking at the phone and I'm like, why do I need to pick up? You know? And something just told me that you've grown way bigger than that. And it's probably something that's probably needed for you, but is needed for him. And you'll see that through answering his phone call. So I picked up. And he was just like, I was going to keep calling until you picked me up. And that was all I needed to know for me to switch the whole dynamic of our relationship, right? Is because you called 99 times and you said you were going to keep calling until I picked up. Therefore, now you're showing me something different than you never shown me. I've already spent my whole life without you. So the only thing that I could have in my heart is space. Because if I want to be upset with you and continuously dwell on the things that you didn't do, I'll become that. I don't want to do that. So now I've left this space in my heart for us to have this and gain this relationship, you know? So now I find myself in times where I'm parenting, right? I'm parenting, but I'm not parenting in the same way. What it is that I'm being used as a vessel to my parent for them to become a better parent. There's nothing you can do for me, right? At that moment, right? Like it's the gifts and all those times have passed. What I need from you is conversation, right? What I need from you is to show up. And I needed you to show up the whole time. A lot of the times dads aren't the gifters, right? They're gifting with their attention. They're gifting with their advice, their wisdom. They're gifting with the time that they're spending. And that's the biggest thing that you could do as a father, is because you already have everything installed in you to be able to guide. We just don't have the confidence to be able to guide. And you stepping up and just being there for them is going to show more than whatever you tell. I watched my grandmother. She was 18 years old. She came to America and she's from Guyana. She lost both her parents by 14. And she was the only person that even traveled to come here or even took that risk. And what I did was, since I didn't have my father, I still had to see whoever was representing me at that time. And that happened to be her, right? I watched her garden. I watched her give the fruits of the labor of the garden to the rest of the neighborhood. You know, I watched her go into the church. I watched her pick up homeless people and create days where the homeless people could come and eat, and she'd give them curry chicken and all that good stuff, right? And I could have spent so much time hating my father and would have missed out on everything this woman was doing. And that was my guidance. My guidance was paying attention to what I had and what I didn't have. Because if I would have paid attention to what I didn't have, then I would have drowned in that. And what I decided to do was pay attention to somebody that had guts, right? Somebody that had resilience, somebody that could be able to give reassurance not only to me and her own family, but to other people that may have needed it. And I learned that early on, right? Because the bitterness will eat you up, man. The bitterness will eat you up so much that it'll kill you.
Right.
You know, it'll kill all your attributes. It's just like, you know, the kids play 2K. When you take 5 shots and they were horrible shots, your grade go down to an F. That's what the bitterness do. You know, you keep taking bad shots and bad shots and bad shots and bad shots, not holding yourself accountable or paying it or blaming it on the coach. And it's like, coach can't shoot them shots. He 80 years old coaching you from the bench. You are the person that's taking those shots. You get what I mean? So I just paid attention to what I had and not what I didn't have, so that I could always have that room and that space to be able to receive and to give to somebody that may not even think that I'm open to forgiving.
You know something interesting about fatherhood is a lot of the times they think it's one way, right? The expectation is for your dad to give to you. My dad has been on heroin since he was 13. There was a guy in the neighborhood that gave all the kids drugs so he can control them, have them doing all this stuff for him, right? And so he's been on heroin since he was 13. Heroin is obviously a drug that is the hardest to kick. So he's I don't know, my dad is like almost 70 and he's on methadone now. So he can't stop the drug. So he's constantly in the state of in that you know that he's, I guess, high or something. And he's learned to function like that. But I remember this is a couple years ago. I've always tried to initiate and build a relationship with him. It was very difficult because as a kid, not really having the language to express how I feel and still harboring feelings and trying to connect with this man that didn't seem interested in connecting or didn't know how to connect or engage.
That part.
Then the other part is, you know, I don't even think I'm his son. Like, some stuff had happened, and you know, as a kid, he used to treat me different, and he would I remember a couple times he got upset, and he was like, he just go in a rage, and he started talking about my mom, and I'm like, what's going on? So I guess I may not be his son. So I noticed a difference in the treatment, right, in the disconnect. So, but I still saw him as my dad. I wasn't paying attention to those things, but what he was carrying was, this may not be my son. I feel some type of way. He's not in the clear space. He's on drugs. But anyway, we had a lot of progress by me keep engaging, and then he's engaging. It's this off and on thing, and then we reached this place to where we just said it is what it is, and we were cool. But he would like hear the stuff that I was doing in my life because hey, your son is doing it. Everybody's telling him, so he feels proud about that. And so now he's taking pride in my son is doing all these things. The son that you didn't really take to, and the son that you did take to, he didn't turn out. He turned out like not what he turned out. My brother's in prison, respectfully, right? He lived a life of crime and all this stuff, but and he's a junior. So the kid that didn't really get the acknowledgement and the love, that ended up being the child that everybody's talking about. And so we were able to connect. But one day he had called me and he kept calling me. And I'm like, I know he's getting older. Is he getting sick? Like, I'm not sure what's going on mentally, but he kept calling me one day and he kept saying the same thing. And he was like, hey, son, I got off drugs, right? I quit drugs. I've been clean. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, that's cool. I'm like, okay. And then we hung up. He called back. Well, I'll just tell you, you know that I'm clean now. I ain't, I'm like, why does he keep? He called me again, and I said, oh, it's Snap. I said, hey, I said, I'm proud of you, man. I said, I'm proud of you. And I didn't realize, like, the life that he lived, it was crazy. In and out of jail, prison, shooting people, doing all this crazy. But he was in his clear mind. But when I said that I'm proud of you, he hadn't heard that. So some of the healing, a lot of times, like even when I think about my kids, it's like they expect all this from me, but sometimes it can come from the other way, and you never know what somebody else may need. But like just being mindful of it and going through that, it's like you never know what the other person was going through and what they've been through. Because when I thought about it, I said that's a hard thing to deal with. Your wife had a kid that that is maybe your brother's son. You know what I'm saying? But me not knowing, I'm looking at him like, what's wrong with this dude? So like I said, as a 42-year-old man and going through, my oldest is 23, my youngest just turned 21 the other day. It's like a spaghetti web, a spider web of all this stuff. And in order to, I would say, you got to work through it. It's a lot of work. A lot of times, we just tap out on doing the work because you get tired. You know what I mean? And then too, I was going to say again, a lot of times when you start to excel and you're that black sheep for doing positive things, it creates, unfortunately, in our community, it creates separation.
Right.
It
It
does.
creates separation. It creates expectation, and then that expectation becomes burdensome, so it creates separation. And yeah, it's a lot of work, man. It ain't, it ain't easy being in this melaninated skin, man. It's a lot of,
You feel?
it's heavy.
Wow.
It's like a leather jacket. It's heavy.
Better than therapy.
It is therapy.
This is
This is our therapy.
this is way better than
Yeah.
therapy, man.
Can I chime in?
Go
Yes,
ahead.
sir. Do your thing.
I've
Chime.
heard a few things today. And I want to share something. I think sometimes, especially as black men, when we receive things,
What you
how we
say?
receive them is a little different.
Okay.
So just like a few of you guys were talking about fathers. So I grew up in a two-parent household. Both my parents was in the house till this day. My parents are still married. I think they've been married for like I'm 47, so they've been married for like 48 years. Right. So me and my dad spent a lot of time together as adults because my dad got into a car accident a couple years back. And I said, okay, I'm gonna pick up golf, started playing with him because he an avid golfer. Ended up loving the game. But my point of saying all that is the more I spend time with my dad, sometimes there's other people around, we be having conversations. And
Right.
he'll be like, well, it wasn't quite like that. It wasn't quite like that. Everybody get that response, right? And I'm like, nah, bro, it was like that. You know what I'm saying? Because, and I think I said this in another meeting that I was on with you guys, is that we're only responsible for what we put out, not what the person receives. You get what I'm saying? So me and my dad ended up having an intricate conversation because he was like, man, I showed up to everything. I think somebody talked about basketball. I showed up to basketball. I showed up to baseball. I showed up to this. I showed up to that. And I said, yeah, but what you didn't show up for was to show me how to navigate through the environment you put me in. You, you know what I'm saying? So I had to kind of go out there and figure that out. You know what I'm saying? Then when I went and I asked questions, sometimes you didn't have no answers. And then what it dawned on me over a period of time is that parents, being ourselves, being our parents, our grandparents, they navigated through what they knew.
Right.
The world changed every single day.
Every
You know what I'm
second.
saying? Every second. You know, it changed. So if they're not um if they're not a trailblazer or a sponge and they're not absorbing it, they're still setting the ways that they know. So that's what they teaching you.
Right.
And I realized, even in this conversation, I realized even with my pops, he taught me what he knew because that's what he knew. That's what he knew he could pass on to me. And then I just had this conversation actually with my wife's cousin, who's a little bit older than me. At some point in time in life, we have to stop having the conversations of, well, man, you know, I'm like this, man, because of the lady that's sitting over there. She used to beat us, man, when we was kids, and woo, woo, woo. That's cool. But you 50.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And I talk about this freely. I see a therapist regularly every Friday, 10 a.m. I got therapy session with my therapist. And your relationship with your therapist is important. Your therapist should be more like a friend than the person you go to. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes people will give you mixed up equations on certain stuff. But for me, I'm like, okay, I realize this isn't working. I'm not getting what I need out of this situation. I'm 47. I have to go over here to get this knowledge to be able to apply this to either pass it on. Like, I'll be honest with you, I'm not the most tech savvy dude. I got 4 kids. My oldest daughter's 20, she'll be 25. I got an 18-year-old. Then I got a 14-year-old. Then I got a 5-year-old son, right? I got all walks of life in my house. I got to adapt to all of that, but I can't adapt to their lives based on my experiences. So, you know what I'm saying? My youngest daughter, she real tech savvy. So if I have some technical challenges, I go to her and let her teach me. You get what I'm saying? And that helps build that long-term relationship where there's not that resentment of, oh man, well, they didn't do, if
Right.
that makes sense. But I also look at it from the perspective of they did what they could do with what they had. And I think sometimes me and my workout partner was just having this conversation because we both been to the African American Museum in DC. I think sometimes as people in a culture, we don't realize we're only one generation separated
Right.
until you actually see it in real life. There's some people on this call that may be older, that may have some people that was not separated that actually raised them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's the reality of it. But we also have to get out of that communication gap where we use that, I don't want to say as an excuse, but the getaway. You get what I'm saying? So P-Shack, you had mentioned about biracial. So I have my daughters are biracial, right?
Right.
So my oldest daughter went off to college, and one of her roommates was biracial. She was like Puerto Rican and black. But
Right.
the mom had died, and then the dad remarried, and he married a woman of non-color. And so one day they was out eating, and I had always told my kids, hey, at the end of the day, you guys are black. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Just because your skin is lighter, don't matter how people see it. The one thing you're going to learn about the black community is that we accept anybody
Right.
for the
Right.
most part. You know what I'm saying? For the most part. And she was like, wow, it never dawned on me till she was sitting with this young lady. And the young lady said something that I'm not going to repeat it on this call, but she said something that we probably wouldn't say. And my daughter was like, well, hold on. What do that mean? You get what I'm saying? And then I tried to get her to understand that's the difference between that communication gap. When you communicating those things, I'm not telling you got to be out here and tell everybody, hey man, I'm pro-black, I'm this, I'm that. But you need to acknowledge where you come from, your acceptance of where you come from, and what you learned through that process, if
Right.
that makes sense, in that environment. It doesn't mean that you have to go out and apply it every day. Because if you grew up in a bad situation, you get what I'm saying? And your situation was bad when you grew up. You don't want to take that and go out into the world and apply it. You want to take what you think or what moves you or moves your soul and take that and apply it so that you could change the world for the better good, if that makes sense.
Oh no, it makes a lot of sense, and I had to even apologize to my children because we lived in the suburbs, but my kids was kind of high guys, you know what I'm saying? So I let them go to a school in the inner city just for them to have strong background. I mean, why? Why did I have to prove something to them in the hood? If they want to say hot guys, they should be able to say that. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of they got messed up. Well, I ain't gonna say they got messed up. They learned from both sides. They would have preferred to stay on the good side instead of be sent to a school in the inner city. Because in my mind,
Delivery time.
You ain't finna go over here and they gonna punk you. You know what I'm saying? They ain't finna punk y'all. Y'all gonna have some hood in y'all, and even though you living in the suburbs. And it was not only working for that, it was also working for the communities that we lived in. You ain't gonna just say anything to them and they gonna feel uncomfortable because you're insecure who you are. But they'll be able to defend themselves, and I don't have to always run to their rescue.
And you expose them to thinking bigger.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
You expose them to thinking bigger because as they are nowadays, you know what I mean? You can tell they like, no, I know what I deserve and what I don't deserve. You know, they'll tell you that with no problem. So it's like you raised them in that environment. They were still able to keep their who they truly were. Raise them in different environments that they can be and not just in poverty.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it shows.
And sometimes it was hard for them because, you know, we had pretty good life because I'm an entrepreneur. We own a real estate business. I worked in the music business, you know. So when I didn't want to take my kids to school, you can drive a Benz to school. You can drive an Escalade to school, which people were getting mad at them. Like, that ain't their car. That's my car. They just driving it to school. But I get it. If they was at schools in the area where they live, it would have never been a problem because all the kids was driving stuff like that. And so sometimes we make decisions based on situations, and we have to apologize for some of the stuff we do. But at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is. We're going to make mistakes. We're human. A good man falleth, but get back up again. And if a man said he has not sinned, he's a lie and there is no truth in him. So, you know, and we're going to have to close soon, but let me tell you something that was funny. So we live in one of those communities now. And when my son was a little younger, there's only 2 black kids in the whole community. So they had 1 white kid on their team. And one of the white boys called them a Oreo. You know, these are Oreos. And so when they told me and they came knocked on my door to ask to play with them, I said, you know, Oreos taste better than vanilla wafers. So because we don't like vanilla wafers, my kids won't be playing. I was out of pocket, but I told you I grew fat. I got to get back. So Oreos are better than vanilla wafers. I'm sorry. They lick the cream inside. So sometimes I can be petty. That's all I'm saying. And they go to school with mixed. I sent them to a different kind of school once again. You know what I'm saying? But this time, they can go to school that relates to where they live, in the community they live in, with other people, for they can be exposed to different things.
And also being grateful that when they go into those schools, there's other black kids. Like, you know, before when you're taking your child to those schools, there wasn't many black kids.
Right.
Now you gotta be mindful and grateful that there are more black kids and stuff that are going in these schools, right? Because now you get to understand that they people's probably done went through the same type of journey that you done went through just to get their kids in those opportunities. You know what I mean? So everything has happened. It happens slowly, but we're also living in a time right now, fellas, where everything is being exposed.
Right.
Like the truth has been hidden for so long that now everything is coming to light. And as you live in these times, it is important for you to keep that what you have in you right now. It's important for you to disperse that out, you know what I mean, to the youth, because right now it feels like it's us versus AI, right? And AI can't teach you wisdom. You get what I mean? AI is not human. It can't do the things like I told you, like showing up and showing out is the true, is the true ingredients to the equation as far as a man goes. Like when you show up, when you're a man of your word, those things, like those are things we've been listening to people say forever. Hey, be a man of your word, be a man of your word. You know what I mean? But you not only be a man of your word, be a man of your actions. Let the word and the action speak together so that you don't sound conflicting or you're not conflicting nobody. Because if you're telling somebody, hey, don't do this, and you out here doing it, you know what I mean? The child is going to look at you like, not a person I actually even think about listening to, regardless if he's my dad, he's my mom, you know what I mean? It's when you breaking it down, like y'all just did, like Will just did. You breaking it down, letting your child know, look, I ain't tech savvy. You are the tech savvy one, right? And so now I'm giving you the opportunity to teach me. You know what I mean? And my job is always to teach, right? But I'm allowing myself as the leader to become not only just the teacher but the student,
right? And
that's how the world is going to continue to move in a circle, is when we are giving and receiving at the same time. It's Christmas, right? The spirit of Christmas is to give, is to love, is to cherish.
Right.
You know what I mean? And when you could give yourself up in Christmas as the gift, right? For some people that might not be enough. Somebody might have seen you last week.
It better be.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? But what happens is the gift of giving is what we are supposed to do as human beings. Right. And to receive will depend on what you give. And if you out here giving horrible advice, you're gonna receive whatever that is for yourself, right? But if you're out here and you're giving some advice that somebody needs, you lifting and uplifting these young boys. You're not the OG that's just tarnishing them and telling them what they can't do, but you sitting down, you're listening to them first. And then you're being able to give your advice. Like we're in that period of time where we really need to remove all that the toxic environments out of our minds, the toxicity that we grew up on, the things that we do to our kids, all these different things. It's time to take all of that out and wake up, you know what I mean? And be a part of the change that's already happening. Like all these things are not going to last long, man. All these things are not. These things that we're going through, even just as America or in the world, they can't last long, right? As long as there's good in the world. So be a part of that good.
And we get ready to close in a few, but I want everybody to give a comment. So I want to start with Charles. Charles, you want to give us your little Christmas comment, man? What you want to leave for us?
Hey, this like the gift right here to keep on giving, man. I'm gonna hold this. I'm gonna be around my family later. A couple of my nieces that I raised is supposed to be there, and as their young brother was talking about, sometimes the gift is you, right? I get to be around nieces, that I raised. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't been 20 so it's just gonna be good to be around them. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, but I appreciate it so well for inviting me, and I was just like, man, it's 6 o'clock. Yeah.
Hey man, well, thank you. Rick, what you want to leave us with?
Crack it on in. And
Man, listen here. Don't do me. That's too open for me. Man,
Oh,
at the
okay,
end of the day,
right.
no, 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 I don't. No, I'm mindful. I am mindful because I am grown. You know what I'm saying? My father wasn't there, but I just wanted to say there's a lesson in anything if you look for it. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what it is. Uh, the man with the afro. Uh, I didn't know. The youngster with the no kids. You got some game, and if you've been sitting around a dude in the brown shirt for a little while, I can see why. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying. Like I said, all I can say is you could do for people. It's up to them to want to do for themselves. You could drag a person across the desert and drop them off right at the damn water thing. You gonna have to stick your tongue out. You feel me? I can't put your head in water to drown the bird too. You feel me? At the end of the day, people gotta want it for themselves. We can't jeopardize our integrity or our level of development or our, you know what I'm saying, respectability just based on the non-understanding or the development of few or the less developed. You know what I'm saying? Us being mindful and woke, all eggs don't crack on the same day. You know what I'm saying? It takes some a couple years longer or a couple days longer to hatch than others. But once you woke, then you woke. What you do with that knowledge once you woke is the thing. You know what I'm saying? But the gift is to wake up every day. No matter how good we think we got it, somebody somewhere will pay to be in our situation. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, just be a good person and put that good out there, good energy, good vibes, and what's meant for you will be.
Thank you. Marcel, what you leaving us with on Christmas? We can't hear you,
I think
Marcel.
I think Sep crashed out at the light maker left. I think he had to re
You got to come back in.
Mhm. He got
yeah.
Marcel, log out and come back.
he got AOL.
He got AOL. Hey, Will, what you gonna leave us with?
Hey man, I just want to say thank you for again letting me be part of the group. You know what I'm saying? I do get a lot out of these sessions every Thursday when I'm able to attend. And I appreciate all the brothers that's on this call. And I want to say Merry Christmas to all of you guys. My parents actually my dad I was talking about earlier, he didn't got here. So I've been cooking breakfast for the last hour since we've been on the phone. So
All right,
hey
all
you
Hey
right.
guys
man,
and
well we
y'all enjoy
appreciate you,
your
man.
holiday.
We
All
Chef
right.
appreciate you,
Will,
man, and we're praying for you, and you're always in our prayers. So we love you, bro.
Chef
All right,
Will.
I appreciate
Chef,
it.
he said Chef Will.
Yeah, now I don't know if they gonna call it that, but you know. All right now.
All right, Anwar, come in. What you leaving us with?
Man, appreciation and gratitude, brother. Like I appreciate you, Shaq, and I want to say that we said some words that y'all said earlier. Capacity, um, capacity is super important because we only could give what we have, you know, and also appreciation. I think you said something, expectation, appreciation, and being appreciative of what we have and what we could give self, and also being aware that what they call it self-care these days, to be able to give yourself self-care without being called selfish, you know. So again, as men, my brother, I think his name is Marcel, he touched on a few things about being the value, what he values to others, what he contribute to others. And sometimes if we turn that and contribute to ourselves, again, we're called either arrogant, selfish, and everything else. And so, you know, how to navigate the roads and give ourselves the love that we need, and without taking on those burdens. Because right now, as men, you don't have the right to do that. If you're a woman, you can. If you're gay, you can. But as men, you're not allowed to take care of self without being judged for that. So again, I appreciate you, Shaq. And Shaq is always Shaq. He went to one of my divorce hearings and he sat with my wife. He went with me and sat with my ex-wife. to be.
A hater, bro. She was my friend.
And he said, "You can't tell me who to be friends with, but me and my ex-wife is great." You know, so that's Shaq. But I love him. You know, he helped me as a youngster. You know, I'm 50 now. I've known Shaq since I was about 2021, and I've touched a lot of things and seen a lot of things, and I'm always appreciative to him. You know, for who I've become. It's like a brother, but an uncle and a friend. You know, and whatever I have today is part of it is a tribute to him. So, brother, I'm always grateful and always appreciative, and he knows my dynamics. You know, I'm here. My 2-year-old's going to have Christmas. Then I have to go to my other house, and my 10-year-old and 14-year-old is going to have Christmas, and then I see my son later, at 28. So again, I feel blessed, and all I have for a gift is me. But my brother said it. I make a lot out of nothing, but we got to stop that. But it is a skill, and
It
it's
is
to
a
be
skill.
appreciated.
Hmm.
You know, so never don't down it. You know, and I appreciate
Man,
you all, man. Thank you. I
it,
feel like
it,
my day's gonna be better, and it started out great. So thank you.
hey, man, everybody love your presence, man. Your kids, your son, everybody. So, you know, don't count yourself short. Anthony Lewis, what are you leaving us with today?
Man, with appreciation, man. Y'all, I was just
He's been on
absorbing.
here.
You know, hit
I was
all.
absorbing. I was absorbing today, though. Yeah, definitely grateful, man. What a gift, man. Because we know that we all, man, we may come from some different backgrounds. We may come from something, but there's sounds like there's that one thing that's in common. You know, we've made choice. We made a conscious choice to to love we to love ourselves, to be that change in ourselves instead of looking for anybody else to change us or for them to change in order for us to change. That doesn't make no sense, right? You
Right.
you, you need to change tonight, then I can change. No, that don't make no sense. That don't make so man. It's just about self love without being arrogant about it. Self love without being conceited about it. But self love it allows you to love others and treat others in that way and emulate that, and don't tell your son to stop sagging when you walk in sagging your pants, or stop cussing when you walk in the door cussing, or go to the school and because your child got in trouble for cussing or fighting, but they learned it from you, but you upset at them. Make that make sense. So just showing that self-love and self-respect, for one another. This the earlier Marcel gave brother Chris his flowers. They gave each other that. You just heard the admiration for one another. On this line, and that's what it's about. It's about uplifting one another. Iron sharpens iron. And people always say knowledge is power. Knowledge is not power. It's the action behind the knowledge that is power.
Come on
So
now.
when we're putting this into order and we're making sense of it, right? That's the power of that knowledge because of our experiences, whatever it may be, whether it, and I think what I got from the line today was, hey, you know what? Those who know me from a old don't know the redemption that I went through. They see the not they see the product in progress, but don't know what it took to get to this point. Like Marcel was speaking about, just you know, uh, take man, I used to do that same thing, taking that food stamp dollar, buying a little 2 cent, 5 cent gum, getting the change, go buy some liver and go crawdad hunting. I remember we used to do that. That was fun to us. We used to do that, you know. So let's let we all come from a place of struggle, but not staying in that place to survive in the struggle, but we're thriving, we're going forward. And for those family members or friends who choose not to do that, like the brother was saying about leading them to water, but not, not you got to literally show them to drink. Not so much that, but they'll get it. Let their palate get that dry, and they can't open their mouth. They cotton mouth. They're gonna get it eventually, um, as they see you continuously thriving and continue to moving forward. They may envy you or they may hate on you, whatever it may be, but they see you growing, and something inside of them says, "Okay, now it's enough is enough." I know this, brother. We came from the same place. How is he able to do it and I'm not able to? They come to conclusion in their mind. I'm telling you, God is good. God is good, and it takes what we're doing today to help because we might help somebody else today that's not even on the line. So man, that's what I got from it today. It was great. I know I was just listening, man. I just said I want to listen. I want to listen in. I don't want to rebuttal, but I want to just listen. And like the brother before me, Anwar,
Yeah,
yeah, he was saying,
Anwar Muhammad.
Shaq has been there. Yeah, yeah. That's crazy. That was a brother out of Vallejo. I think he had produced Mac Mall's couple of Mac Mall's albums, Anwar Muhammad. But anyway, man, definitely. Yeah, I think it was him and Kyrie. But anyway, man, yeah, I'm grateful, man. Uh, as I look outside right now, the rain has left. We've got a little blue sky right now here in Elk Grove. But I'm about to go out and and walk the trail, man. Cause you know what, you guys really, yeah. I wasn't even thinking about walking the trail today, but I'm telling you, the influence on this line, man. I was listening, just self discipline, getting out there and doing it. Stop putting off what you could do today for tomorrow. So man, great, 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 great therapy Thursday, man. You did a great job, Pastor Shaq, Chris over there. Y'all tag teaming the babysitting duties. Good job, man. Appreciate y'all.
Marcel, tell us, Marcel, what you got for us. Your phone, we can't hear you. I don't know why we can't hear Marcel.
Say AOL at Marcel.
Let me try. Can you hear us now, Marcel?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Go
Can you
ahead.
hear me?
Yeah,
Okay, I was backstage.
Had to dial
Yeah,
up. The AOL had to dial up.
I know. Yeah, I've logged out about 15 times because it keep losing signal. But I would just say that I'm grateful for this opportunity. And again, I got to work on preparing my friends and giving them the heads up. That there's some housekeeping rules, right? But again, I just get excited because with that, Anthony, thank you for inviting me on here. I just be invite people because I know that we can all take something away from this space, and we can all also add something. So again, I'm grateful for this space, and just you're not responsible for what happened to you, but you are responsible for healing yourself. And as you heal yourself, you can show up better, and you can also change the world by you changing yourself. So that's it, man. I'm just grateful. Thank you, P Shack, for providing this space and for just being a good steward over the space, and I'm grateful for it.
Hey man, we appreciate you. We're
Your
gonna let
brother Chris,
close.
right?
Yeah, Chris gonna close us out.
Yeah,
What's up,
appreciate
Chris?
you too, man. Right on.
Yeah, man. I appreciate every single one of y'all, man. I feel like this is been the therapy that I needed. A lot of people always talk about something. You need to go to therapy. You need to do this. You need to do that. You know what I mean? And it's like, for me, I feel as if like I am a healer. I also went to school to become a therapist, and so it's like for me to go into a therapy session and speak to somebody sometimes isn't enough. Sometimes I need a group, and this has been perfect for me. I'm always doing self-reflection, holding myself accountable. And after every situation, every room I leave, every event I leave, I get straight into observing, and trying to calculate everything that just happened. And this is perfect, man. This is perfect for me. I love that we see new faces. I love that we see same faces. I love that we go into each other's lives and we speak. The vulnerability, like Anwan said, like the capacity to be able to do this, man, it's perfect. It's everything that I need to keep me balanced. And I hope that I know that y'all have a beautiful Christmas. That you'll be full of love and giving it to your loved ones. Man, and to speak to this man next to me, I am here. This is my family. You know what I mean? Like, I left my mom and them yesterday. My mom and them, they're not really like Christmas type of, people, but I know that they loved, then I came to this environment because this is just my home, And then in a couple hours, I'll be leaving to go see my girl on a flight. So Christmas is definitely going to be an adventure. But man, make sure that you just tell everybody that you love them, even somebody that you haven't spoken to in a while that has been on your mind. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to hit them up and tell them that you love them, that you're thinking about them, you know? And yeah, man, just we won't see each other for what, New Year's, right?
Yeah, we'll be here on a New Year's Eve.
Oh yeah, New Year's Eve. Okay.
That'll be my anniversary. I'll be married 44 years.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, that's ancient. But yeah, man, I appreciate you fellas. You know, love y'all. And
hey man, hey, Merry Christmas. My son keep texting me like, dude, when can I open up my presents? So I just want to tell y'all Merry Christmas, y'all. We love y'all. Keep Glenn lifted up. And it's gonna get greater, y'all. So y'all have a blessed one. Take care.
Right on. Blessings, man. Thank you.
Peace. All right, man.
Likewise.
Likewise, man.